And we're live.
Ah, that's me, the robot machine. I'm just gonna stop
Oh,
doing that.
So we are joined today by David Reyes, also known as Tunes,
yep.
and Reyes.
apparently Grandpa, fucking apparently Grandpa,
How am I grandpa?
dude. I thought you were like my age this whole time, like
Oh, because of
literally
the
forever.
age.
Yeah, Grant.
Yeah.
You were like Hibbits basically, but just like I guess Hibbits was your father basically.
Yeah,
Age.
Hibbets was a lot older than me.
Speaking of the mother, briefly, but we really harassed him for not being able to. But now we're all 30, and like, would you be able to do the stuff we did? You know?
No.
Yeah, he had a life before the Marine Corps. Like he was, he had a full life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're
So,
just some of y'all are like just getting to where he was at when he came in.
yeah, exactly. I'm where he was at when he came in, and
How old was he when he came in?
yeah,
Or with us?
we'd have to ask him. We'll have to old man hip shits. We'll have to get him on one of these days.
I want to say he was probably like in his late 20s or something like that.
I thought he was 30 or
Or
something.
early 30s.
Maybe I'm confusing with Archibald Ike Miller, the guy in my boot camp who was like 35 and had gray hair.
Yeah, we had a guy that was like 29, and he looked old as fuck when I was. I was like, and now I'm fucking 30. Like, oh, I couldn't imagine that shit.
Anywho, so it's like our favorite cartoon, USMC Animations. David, why'd you join?
Why did I join? All right. Remember you said you were going to ask about it. So I joined back in 2007. At the current time, was working, just doing just normal shit, nothing really spectacular. And then what happened is my parents were having relationship issues at the current time, and it almost came to the point where they almost got divorced. And through all the friends I had here at home and stuff, like I would say maybe half of them, all their parents were like divorced. So we were kind of like me and my brother. I got one brother, and we were kind of like the only family that was still together.
Yeah.
So for us to start going through that, I was like, holy shit. And just talking to my parents on both sides, figuring out what's going on, what we're gonna do, and blah blah blah. The only thing I can think of, and I thought about it prior. I thought about joining the military prior to this, but this was kind of like I guess like the thing that pulled the trigger to actually make my decision. Was when this happened, I was like, what can I do personally to distract them from the situation, to get them start thinking about different stuff, be more family oriented and whatnot. So I figured if I joined the military and I left, I can get them to focus on that instead of issues that they were having. And so apparently it worked because they're still together. We still have they still have issues and stuff, but I don't know if that, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't, the whole thing that helped them out and whatnot. But I think it was a key factor that, distracted them to get back to like family stuff and staying together. So that's the main reason why I joined. And a lot of people don't know that.
Wow, that is some serious family culture, bro. That's like that.
Yeah, and
You know,
it was crazy because I was the very first person in my family to do military. Didn't have anybody else, and they were against it. Nobody's ever been in the family's been military. If the light keeps flickering, I'm like kind of adjusting it to my face.
that
But
you're using the force with the force.
yeah. Well, my lights aren't here.
That doesn't-
So like my parents really didn't understand why I want to do it, and they were like, why? It's kind of out of nowhere. My brother, he was the one that was like mainly against it. Like he was kind of one of those people that were like, why would you do that? Like the country don't care about you. Why would you sacrifice yourself for it? I think it's a stupid idea. Blah blah blah.
Well,
Blah,
older
blah.
or younger?
What's that?
Older or younger brother?
He's older. He's like 3.5 years older than me. And he was like the star athlete in high school and all that stuff, Mr. Popularity and stuff like that. We were all around, dude. And then, I did sports and stuff to follow in his footsteps, but I wasn't really like a sports guy. I just did it just to do it and try to live up to his name and whatnot.
I feel it in my soul, bro. I feel that in my soul, bro.
I was like, he's doing, and like everybody knew me as Kyle Reyes' little brother. It wasn't like, hey, there's David. It was Kyle Reyes' little brother. So I was like, motherfuckers. But
Yeah, fuck you, Kyle Reyes. No,
yeah. So
you're
but
not
it
a
was crazy.
hero.
Yeah, but it was crazy because I think out of my family, he was the one that was most against it. And so when I actually went and signed up and broke the news to him, so like, hey, I signed up, I'm going. And he was always like in really, really good shape. And I was working out then. I was doing a lot of supplements and working out. And I remember I told you, I was like, the one thing I couldn't do was run. I was like, I always hated it. And so when I was working,
You're Gimli, bro. You
Yeah.
got like the strength of Gimli. For those you don't know, he does have incredible strength. Can hike anywhere. Fast walking pace, running. None of us like that.
maybe downhill. But the crazy part was, we started working out together, and my brother was there like every day pushing me. So it was crazy because what he told me was like, if you're gonna go, I want you to be the best shape and be the best that you can be. So he actually trained me to go into the Marine Corps.
Oh shit, dude,
Then,
that's like an epic, like from the action movie where the one guy in the platoon, he comes from like the super family that like, like teaches him everything before the Marine Corps. You were that motherfucker.
He's like the old guy that comes. He's like, I don't agree with it, but if you're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right.
Because he's got
Yeah,
one man to save his fucking family. Holy shit.
basically, yeah. And so boot camp for me wasn't like hard at all. It was basically just working out and hanging out with friends. And just like anytime I was working out, doing all the shit we had to do, the whole time I was thinking about my brothers, like pushing me and shit. So that's why I joined and how I got there.
Well then, unfuck you, Kyle Reyes.
Yeah. We all go to like a fucking Reyes family and we all like, oh, we love this guy. Hey, Kyle Reyes, his little brother. And he's
But then obviously it was funny because once I graduated and you go home and you're on fucking PTED and working out and whatnot, and I was telling my brother, like, hey man, let's go run, let's go work out, and he just running, and that's about it. He'd run circles around me. Once I started throwing in like the calisthenics and all the shit that we had to do while running, then he dropped. He's like, I can't do this. I can't do push-ups and then start running and then do sit-ups and do all these. And then I was like, come on, bro, what the hell's wrong with you?
hell yeah, simplify. Because you don't run. You might sprint in combat. I don't know what we did. We never had to. I'm sure that we would die. If that came to that, I'd be fucking dead. So thank God it never came to that.
Yeah, if it was like the Mogadishu Mile, dude, I'm fucking dead.
Yeah,
like 0.9 miles from the base. I'm fucking.
that is exactly why we were gonna die with weapons in hand, motherfucker. Because
I was gonna be like, hey, I was in the fucking what is it, the short end or the small end? What are they called?
Little end.
Little end, yeah. It's like I'll be in the little end. I got the rear, dude. Y'all go. I'll make sure nobody comes behind y'all.
Yeah. I'm fully rear security. Yeah.
So big into the pull-ups, which it's kind of fucked up watching you do pull-ups. It's like, I don't know. It's just you got to see it in person because you do them so fast, but you just like have total control. It's
Well, I always thought, I was like, how the fuck can this guy pull himself up?
Yeah.
So easy. And then I always I would get on. I'd be like, well, if he can do it, and then I'd be fucking kicking like after 3, and I'm like, oh god.
I don't know, man. It was just a lot of upper body strength, and I just did a lot of back exercises and pull-ups and shit like that. It was, and then I had a buddy of mine in high school that was a bodybuilder. So I was working out with him for a while before I got in, and he showed me like real good techniques and stuff like that. None of that kipping bullshit. And,
no CrossFit pull-ups.
Yeah, remember I'm older, so this is before CrossFit even existed. Whenever we joined, I don't think there was CrossFit.
The CrossFit people were something else,
or it didn't blow up yet, or wasn't really a thing.
Yeah, good old Testic Dick in his CrossFit.
Yeah, so there was points when I was doing pull-ups and I had the weight belts with like 2 or 3 45 plates on me. So it was just,
dear God.
So you know was it like the last Rocky movie where he was old as shit, and the guy was like, he's like, you ain't got no speed, all your joints are jacked up. He's like, pretty much we got to use raw power.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how I trained.
Damn. Damn. So you just freaking. Yeah, I mean, it worked out too. I mean, you really did have to keep meat on the bones to. I remember my first time shooting a 240. I think I've only ever shot a 240 once for real, and I was like a child. I was like, so you need meat on them bones. That's for damn sure.
Well, and in the Marine Corps, if you can do 20 pull-ups, basically, like, that ends conversations, most conversations. Like, how many pull-ups you do? Double, and you do, like, 20. Okay. Like,
Yeah, it kind of got me out of a lot of shit too.
yeah.
So when people trying to mess with you or trying to put you on the fucking pull-up bar and talk shit and make you do a whole bunch of shit, you knock out 20 real quick. They're kind of like, okay, never mind, get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. So, being in the platoon, so you get through boot camp, not shit. SOI, how was that? I mean,
Well, graduated. I think the whole going back to boot camp, the hardest thing for me for boot camp, obviously like with the stuff that was going on in my family, but I believe during boot camp we found out that my mom had cancer,
shit.
and she made it through that. Everything was good, and luckily caught it early.
Did,
But
did they tell you that she had cancer, or did they wait till you graduated?
no, they told me, but while I was in. So, when I got like the first phone call or, one of the letters, I kind of found out, told me what was going on. But then, obviously we don't have communication during boot camp.
Yeah.
So like that was the hardest part for me was just having to wait for a letter, having to wait for a phone call or something like that. Other than that, boot camp, I was like, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say boot camp is more of an inconvenience. Like, it's like,
Yeah, basically.
This for a lot of us, like I never left home. Okay, I was a sheltered white boy, so the first time sleeping far, far away in bed, I was like, I didn't really cry, but it was kind of like, damn, holy fucking shit! I've just signed up. This is the real motherfucking deal. This isn't the movies.
Yeah, I think we all had experience. It was kind of like just whatever, flying there, hanging out at the USO or whatever it's called, USO.
Yeah, the USO.
And just hanging out, waiting and shit. And then once you get on that fucking bus and couldn't even look around and shit, I was like, oh fuck, what did I do?
What the fuck did I just do? The first night in bed, that was, and it's you finally get the time to think to yourself, and I finally knew what homesick was. I had traveled before this, but I finally felt fucking homesick for the first time in my life. That was But anyway, so SOI, you fucking jumped on the machine guns.
Yeah. What's up?
Oh, it was just like, were you 03 option?
Yeah. So I told you all earlier. Whenever I went in, I pretty much demanded infantry. Like I said, I was a weight waiver going in. I was supposed to be, I think it was like 165, I think 170 maybe max for my height. And they made me do the mock PFT when I was at MEPS and shit. And 20 pull-ups breeze, crunches breeze. And then they were like, okay, don't even worry about running. I'm thinking, like, thank God.
Yes.
But yeah, so I went in. I got 03 open contract for infantry or whatnot, and then when we got to SOI, that's when they did the whole spiel and fucking, all them instructors talking shit to each other about, oh, he's just a rifleman, machine gunner, and so once I saw the machine guns, I saw all the fucking bullets. I was like, yeah, that's what I want. Until then, I realized I had to fucking carry the motherfuckers, and that sucks.
Yeah, they didn't tell us that.
Little legs and hiking sucks, but doing it with a shitload of weight sucks more.
It evens out, though. It evens out because you're good at carrying weight. So,
yeah.
The lanky people, there were some lanky people that were good at running and hiking. You're like, damn it, I thought I had you in hiking, but they're just like stepping, just leaping it, They can carry weight too. It didn't make sense. But, so you had to, did you guys ever have to carry the marks on the?
We never did, because I think, what was it, like a 5K, a 10K, and like a 15K or something like that?
20K.
Or 20?
15, yeah, that's 15 miles, I think.
So we did the 240s, 50, and then we did the 50 cals twice.
Mm.
But we took more of them
Uh-huh.
on the second time. I think the first time we took like 3 weapon systems and split them up, and then the second when we did the bigger one, we took I think it was like 6 weapon systems.
Why was the 15K harder than the 20K? I remember
That's
that.
probably the route, I would say, maybe.
Maybe.
Well, yeah,
I
because the 15 we went back behind SOI, so it was a lot of rolling hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the 20K really was we went to Horno, and then we went up that hill behind fucking motor pool.
Yeah.
And then we hiked along the Alpha Shelf. So it wasn't that like it was like really one big climb where the 15K there was a lot of
multiple.
Yeah.
We got like the main hard one out of the way.
Yeah.
Then the rest of it.
Yeah, because you had like you had the like 3 miles to SOI where it was like you kind of got in your groove, and then like it sucked on the 20 to go up that first hill, but you were still basically fresh.
Yeah.
Dude.
But we did do one big hike behind, like it was kind of almost straight behind SOI into some hills with the Mark 19. I want to say it was a couple. I want to say like maybe anywhere between like 6 to 8 miles with the Mark 19. But this was kind of just like a training thing, and that shit.
Were you just in flak and Kevlar then, or were you had full pack?
That was just we were just in flak and Kevlar.
So it was a little easier, but they probably made you run or something.
Well, it was hilly, and there was like once we actually I think it was going to a range, and to get to the actual range part where we can shoot was like up this really steep hill, probably like a good like I want to say like 50 feet high.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like 3 people, and we had to mount the Mark 19 and drag it up. So it was a pain in the ass.
I kind of miss that shit. Like just all the hikes were a toe hazing fest because we never hiked or anything. And then I remember Sergeant Aponte just whispering, "Oh, you ain't so tough now. You're calling them carrying the fucking." Everybody was scattered in the toes, and I'm fucking carrying a goddamn missile by myself up this hill. And Sergeant Aponte is just like fucking hates me. And he's just like, "Yeah, Caldwell, I'm fucking loving this fucking shit talker." And I'm like, I'm not.
We had guys that would fall out just carrying the toes from the barracks down to the classroom.
Yeah. I know. I remember that. So then the people who didn't fall out ever ended up having it. There was no relief. It was just I got stuck with the fucking missile because like nobody else could do it. I was like, fuck, dude.
The main issue I had was I fucked up my ankles a lot. And hiking, I mean, like to this point, they're all just rubber. I can trip over an ant. It's terrible. So on one of our big hikes, we're about to head out, and it's like at the very end of SOI before you could turn left to go down. Is it Barcelona going towards Horno?
Yeah.
So you got that road that goes all the way up beside the barracks. So we had to start there, going down, and then take a left onto the street on Barcelona. And the whole time I'm just like, Don't twist your ankles. Please don't twist your ankles. And as soon as we got to that road, or a little bit above it, I just rolled my ankle and I like face planted. We had our Kevlars on and shit. And then I slid down the road on my Kevlar.
Oh, thank God for the Kevlars, bro. They take so much shit.
And then, so I almost got dropped back because we were hiking, and halfway through the hike, my ankles like just swelled up in my boots. And I was like, I couldn't walk anymore. It was hurting pretty bad. And I was kept on like falling out a little bit. And our instructor at that time was like, Reyes, like, what's wrong? I was like, I rolled my ankle pretty bad. It's just getting really fucking swollen and shit. So they had the medics come check me out. They took my boot off. My ankle was all blue and black and shit. And they're like, all right, you can get in the high back and go the rest of the way, or if we send you back, then you're gonna have to go to medical or whatever, and then you'll be held back and start over like in a month or so. And I was like, well, I don't want to do that. But, at the same time, I was like, I don't want to look like a bitch and get in the back of the high back the rest of the thing. And it's like, it's your decision. I was like, fuck it. I got in the truck and made it to the range. And we were there for a couple of days. And my ankle just got bigger and bigger. And
shit.
yeah, they had a doc there, and they're like, Motrin.
God.
Like, shoving Motrin down my throat, dude, just so I can make it through. Because I was like, I don't want to start all the way over. I was like, fuck that.
Yeah. You learned very early on in the Marine Corps about pain. Very, very early.
Yeah. And they gave me crutches, so I was like on crutches for the weekend. And when we started back up, I just ditched them.
Damn, dude, we had pain for just a nonstop year. We had a hell of a workup, man. So then you get through SOI instructor, blow up your ankle. When did you get into the fleet?
I remember talking to y'all before. I was one of the last boot drops coming to 1-4.
But that was still a decent workup, 7-8 month workup.
Yeah, I think it was like 8. I think like 8 months.
Yeah, because you got there like end of February, beginning March.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
And we got in Iraq on my birthday, which I kept very quiet about. 21st birthday with apple juice. It was fun.
Yeah, so I got.
I turned 19 in Iraq, and I made sure that nobody fucking knew until my birthday was over in Iraq and the States, so that they couldn't pink belly me.
Yeah.
I think I only had. Well, obviously I was in it for 4 years, so I've had birthdays, but I think the only time some people found out was on whenever we're on the Mew. I kind of kept it on the down low.
Yeah.
My birthday was in July, and so like I really didn't tell anybody. I was like, "Fuck that," especially if we're all stuck in the berthings. I was like,
I turned 21 on the Mew.
Oh shit! You were the baby.
My first legal drink was in Singapore.
First legal.
And I got real drunk. I puked all over the place in Singapore, and then I made Wilson clean it up, or else he would go to fucking jail.
Oh fuck! That's right. They caned you and shit in public. Yeah, that was a fucking crazy time. I ran in it. This is me and Toons.
Wow.
Had some vast times at Singapore.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah, were you there? Because Marvin was pretty sure it was a man that I was making out with, but it was some person in a fucking nurse outfit, and I guess no real human actually wears a nurse outfit out in public, so that's how hammered I am.
Yeah, and we weren't there during Halloween either, so.
Yeah, so oh my god, I think I made out with a he/she. My wife knows.
No she, just he.
Yeah.
I don't really remember. I was.
Don't try to dilute it, dude.
Trash.
Just own it.
Oh yeah, I was pretty trash, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm the man. I'm pulling the ladies." And Marvin's like, "I'm pretty sure that's a dude." I'm like, "Whatever, fucking hater." No, he's like, "No, I'm dead serious." I'm like, "Oh yeah." So that was Singapore. Oh my god, yeah.
So you get to us in February. We'll say end of February, March, and Caldwell and I had been there since we got there like January 12th or January 9th or something like that, because our first weekend there was Martin Luther King weekend. So because I remember all I heard was boots don't get 72s. And I was like, okay.
So whenever y'all got there, were our seniors already back?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
They had just like come back from leave, from their post-deployment leave.
Okay.
Fucking Mendez, I remember thinking, this is Mario from the fucking Mario Brothers, and he's like jumping in our packs, and then you try to fight him off, and his fucking homies come out like woodwork. You're like, whoa! And they're all like deployed, and they fade back into the show. It was fun.
Yeah,
Fun weekend.
So I showed up. It was at nighttime when I got there. They dropped us off at the front of Horno, and we kind of sat by the company office for like an hour. We're like nobody there. We're like, what do we do?
Were you die? Did your SOI instructors tell you how you were gonna die? So were you sitting with anticipation, like, oh fuck?
No, they were pretty cool. I mean, they obviously probably lied, just like recruiters did.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember that, but they're like, oh yeah, it'll be great. And once you get there, you're in the fleet now. Blah blah blah. It's like, okay, that was a big lie. But yeah, so I get there late at night. It was me. I don't know if y'all remember Pinagua.
Mm-hmm.
Pinagua. I think Bryant, because Bryant was with me in SOI. Schmiegel was with me in SOI. But I remember it was me, Bryant, Pinagua, us three actually. That's when we came to 4 weapons, or I think it was Cat at that time. Or no, it was Map. Map.
That was Matt, Mobile Opportunity.
Yeah, and then I don't know where Schmiegel went when he got there. They kind of split us up. So us three showed up. I want to say there was somebody else, but I can't remember. And it was super late, and they led us up to the barracks and showed us our room. And then like, as soon as we got there, fucking here comes Sparks right around the corner, and he was already because I think it was. I can't remember if it was like on a Friday or it was during the weekend. I can't remember, but they were already trashed. They just came around the corner, just ready to fuck people up.
You didn't see any of us out front being like, "Don't do it."
No, I didn't see anybody yet. We were just
And
deer in the headlights when we showed up.
and Andrew looks like Stewie, like this whole time. So it's Stewie from Family Guy. You know when he gets drunk and his hair's all like freaked out.
Yeah.
That's how Andrew left, like the clean Stewie that we split up at SOI, and then every time I saw him, he was just like dirty Stewie, just fucked up all the time, like
Yeah.
dirty.
But it's like you said earlier, 20 push-ups kind of sets everything up, or 20 pull-ups, because Sparks came around the corner, and that was the first thing he asked was like, "Who can do 20 pull-ups?" And I was like, "I can." Lance Corporal. Yeah, that's when I figured out the Lance Corporal.
Oh,
And he was like, "Yeah, prove it." And I just knocked it out really quick, and he kind of just shut up about that. And he was so he kind of moved to the other people. It's like, "Oh, fucking okay, we got Pinagua now. Let's start fucking with him."
yes.
And then that's how it all started. Got in there, got in our rooms and stuff, and put everything up. And they're like, "Okay, good, take it all out." It's like I'm like, "What?" Like, get all the shit out of the fucking room. So start taking shit. I was like, "No, everything, mattresses, the bunks, and everything." I was like, "God damn, what the fuck?" Get everything out. I was like, "What the hell are we doing?" All right, good, get it back in.
Oh no! Welcome back, motherfucker.
Yeah, I was like, "Here we go. Here we go."
And you look around too, and you're like, okay, is this real? Because this guy's a Lance Corporal. He's like one rank higher than me. And you look around, and there's sergeants just nodding, like, yeah, bitch, you heard him. You're like, motherfucker, you're a duty. The OOD walks by, he's an officer, like a general or something. Like, oh, nothing to see here, sir. Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to close my door for the first 3 days that I was in the fleet, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
And they would just materialize in the doorway. And they would be in civvies. And by that time, I'm fucking tired. I'm hungry. I just wanted to like fucking relax because I didn't know that this shit was going to happen. I thought that it was like, hey, okay, it will be cool. Like, yeah, there'll be a little bullshit, but it's going to end. I didn't think it was going to last 3 fucking days.
Yeah.
And
that didn't. It's 3 days, dude. It was like the whole workup.
Well,
yeah,
no,
it wasn't 3 days, bro. You hear the chow hall, the dinner bell ringing, and then you're like, I just want to go, but you can't get away from them, bro.
Yeah. But fucking, you guys remember Sergeant De Laurentiis?
No.
They called him Sergeant Dell. He was like a super senior, and he just showed up, and like I turned, and he's just leaning against my doorway, and he's like, sucks to be you, huh? And I'm like, yes, Lance Corporal. He goes, okay.
This motherfucker thinks I'm a Lance Corporal.
I think it was Vetch. Vetch like hears me and he goes, "Did you just call him a fucking Lance Corporal?" I was like, "Yes, Lance Corporal." And he goes, "He's a fucking sergeant." I was like, "How the fuck am I supposed to know this?"
Yeah.
Like, and then I shared our head with a sorry, Joey, a bathroom. I said head, and I saw you visibly wince. I
meet him now.
I shared a bathroom with one of Shaw and Renfro's like generation, and he luckily I had Correa, so he gravitated to Correa, and he would just hate the shit out of him. He would wake up in the middle of the night and come over and be like, Correa, and he'd be like, "Yes, Corporal," and he'd be like, "Come over here real quick." And then I just hear screaming. He'd be like, "Push, bitch, push."
I heard screaming at Correa all the time.
He was the most chill dude. Like we'd run into each other in the mornings. Like I'd be shaving or whatever, and he'd walk in and be like, "What's up, dude?" And I was like, morning, Corporal. He's like, it's too early for that shit. And then Correa would walk in and be like, hi. And he'd be like, don't fucking talk.
That's funny.
But he made Correa write an essay in the push-up position, right? So when you think about it, it means you can only ever have one hand on the ground.
Yeah.
And he wrote, and then Correa's like crying, and he's like, bitch, don't get tears on the paper. You're gonna start over. And then Correa like sweat onto the paper, and he's like, nope. And he rips it up, and he's like, start over.
Oh man.
While
Yeah.
all the other boots are sitting on the bed, like watching this, and he's just talking to us normally, like, "Hey guys, yeah, oh, it'll be fine. Don't worry, it'll go away. Shut the fuck up, Gray. I'm talking."
Yeah, I think like one of the hardest things that we had was people remembering the fucking rank structures of people, and obviously, you know, we're new, we're boots, so we don't have anything figured out yet. And every time, I think it was shit, I can't remember who it was in our platoon. I don't know if it was Gonzo. Remember Gonzalez? I don't know if it was him, but it was somebody would always fuck up rank. And they're like, oh, good to go. And fucking go ahead and write the rank structure. It's like 400 times over the week. It's like, motherfucker. It's like he'd pop around the corner and be like, morning, Lance Corp, Sergeant. It's like, fucking goddamn it. Here we go again. I think that was like the hardest thing. It was terrible.
I had Causey. Remember Causey?
Oh, yeah.
So Sergeant Bosley is talking to him because Canaway was at a school or something. So Bosley was our platoon sergeant basically, and he's talking to him, and he's like, he goes, yes, Sergeant, yes, Lance Corporal. And it's like, you got it right the first two fucking times. And then Bosley is like, he's like, okay, I understand you guys are tired, you get fucked with. And like, he had all like the Lance Corporals go away, and he's just talking to us. And he's like, I'm really trying to like help you guys out here. And I know that you guys have been doing all this shit. And he takes his rank off. He takes his sergeant chevrons. He goes, Kazi, let's go through this. What rank am I right now? And he goes, well, that would be a private, sergeant. And he goes, that is correct. And then he goes, if I have one chevron, what am I? He goes, that's a PFC, sergeant. And he goes, yes. And he goes, all the way up. And then he goes, he puts his rank back on. He goes, what rank am I? He goes, you're a sergeant, Lance Corporal. And we were like, God damn it, Kazi. And he fucking, Bosley's like, I tried. And he like unleashed the lances on him.
He's like, come back.
Yeah, that was very late.
So I had, remember Staff Sergeant Striefler, Uncle Rico?
Uncle Rico.
Yeah, so he was my platoon sergeant. And so throughout, you know, our workout or our workup and shit, I mentioned to y'all I had Rankle as my VC.
Yeah.
And then whenever he left with the, I think he went to snipers, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then I had solo, so I was always constantly working out. And like, thankfully, I had those two seniors as my seniors. Rankle, obviously awesome. Me and him were super close. He was 1 day older than me. Solo, I was older than him, but he was real cool. He was cool as shit. And so I didn't really get fucked with a lot. The way they would kind of have to mess with me is like do like a group hazing, like a one-on-one. I really didn't get messed with too much. But so I was doing what I wanted to do, because when I went in, you know, I wanted to go in just doing it. That's for my reason to get in, like I stated earlier. And then once I got in there, and I was like, dude, it's like I want to be like this cool badass Marine. Like, everybody's pictures in their heads. Like, I want to be this badass motherfucker, come home and blah, blah, blah and shit. So, you know, I was trying my hardest to do whatever I could to be the best Marine I could. And, you know, they were taking notice of it and everything. And one time, Staff Sergeant Schieffer pulled me off to the side. We're standing on the parade deck. And they're like, hey, Reyes, Staff Sergeant wants to see you. I was like, roger that, Lance Corporal. And I ran out there and talking to him. And he's like, hey Reyes, I heard from the guys and some of your seniors that you're pretty shit hot, like you're pretty squared away. And I was just like, if they say so, Staff Sergeant. I was like, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. He was like, all right. And he's like, and he's sitting there like poking me in the chest while he's talking to me, and I'm like, ow, ow, ow. he's like, you keep this shit up. He's like, you'll be a good Marine. And he's like poking me. I'm like, ow. this fucking manly finger just jabbing me in the chest.
And we're talking about Uncle Rico himself.
Yeah, Uncle Rico's.
Indeed, with the grenade, like somehow, indeed, with the grenade in his hand, apparently, and nothing.
Yeah, like the grenade got hurt.
The grenade got hurt, like somehow didn't f up his camis or anything. It's just,
Yeah, so like this whole time he's talking to me and he's like, I heard you, you're pretty squared away. You're doing all the right shit. He's like, continue doing what you're doing. And as he's talking, I'm like, yeah, okay. And at the end of it, he's like, all right. He's like, go ahead and go back. And I'm like, yes, Corporal. Fucking shit.
No,
And he just like looked at me. He's like, just get the fuck out of here. I'm like, Roger, that's hard. And I just took off running. But I was like, he
did
all this
anybody
shit.
hear about this?
No, because it was just me and him talking. So like, yeah, he's doing all this shit and like talking me up and everything, and then I fuck up his rank, and I was just like, motherfucker.
No, dude, that is terrible. That is terrible.
Luckily, there was no repercussions or anything, but because
yeah, but your heart though, your heart probably.
Yeah, after all that, I was like, oh my god, I just fucking fucked myself.
Every time I've ever did anything good and got noticed, I immediately fuck myself. So don't feel bad. Like probably worse than Ren. Yeah. Andrew's nodded his head in agreement. Oh yeah, that's exactly.
You guys remember when you pick up Lance, right? And it's generally your first promotion in the fleet is Lance Corporal.
Yeah. I got mine quick.
So I picked up in April. So I'd been there, 2.5 months, 3 months. And it was like such an honor for the seniors to like come pin you, right? Because I saw them when boots that they didn't like picked up, they refused to pin them, right?
Mm.
And like some people can consider that hazing, having the chevrons fucking punched into your chest. But I thought that it was like a huge sign of respect, like that they were willing to actually do that.
Yeah.
And like even Caldwell, you would know about like picking up Corporal. I remember like Algren, dude, he couldn't even like get out of bed for a week. Like they fucking.
And that was on ship too, wasn't it?
And we had.
I got Algren good, bro. I got him good.
Well, he got screwed too because a lot of his brothers had picked up before him. So
yeah.
I was like the first motherfucker to pick up Corporal too. I was like, I never wanted this. You're supposed to fucking non-wreck me. We've non-wrecked you too many times.
Well, I remember Chavez picked up Corporal in Iraq.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was.
So he was like one of the first boots to outrank.
He was actually a badass, though.
Well, yeah, he was cool and shit. I think what happened was, I think they obviously always non-rank us because they don't want us to pick up before them, so they try to do it to the most of their ability or whatnot. And I think at the last time right before he picked up, I think they kind of like forgot about it. I'm not saying like he didn't deserve it or anything like that, but I think he kind of like slipped through the cracks and they forgot to non-rank him. So he picked up and got Corporal, and they were pissed.
You're talking Sherman, right? Tanks?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I remember hearing about that in Iraq, and I was like my hero because we were in SOI together, bro.
Yeah, so they were. Well, yeah, our seniors were kind of pissed that he picked up, and so like, I think at first they tried to make him call them Lance Corporal. I can't remember if not, but I don't think he did. I think he still like respected him and stuff like that, but he didn't have to call them Lance Corporal.
That's basically what happened with Musto too. He was in the other section of our platoon, but he was like
out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, but he's like I'm still a corporal. Treated them with the respect of a senior. He just didn't address them. But a lot of our seniors were like, drop that shit. Once we got a month in country, they were basically like, don't say that shit anymore. Like.
Yeah, unless you were like, the Correas or stuff like that. They were kind of people that were still messing up rank.
I was so happy I got to attend Correa's NJP. I was so happy. That was the happiest moment of my life.
Yeah.
But that was also the convoy that I broke my foot and had to fucking leave. So kind of bittersweet.
Correa stuck around though. He stuck around the whole time somehow. He was like in and out.
Oh, dude, they tried to get rid of him.
Yeah,
Did you leave Iraq?
Yeah, I left in January.
Oh, really? Shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I broke my foot. I tried to stay, and I was gonna basically be like G-boss.
Yeah.
But they said that if for anything that happened, I wouldn't I would be like basically too much of a burden because somebody else,
Combat ineffective, kind of.
yeah, somebody would have to be there, and there was a possibility that I would need surgery. So they,
And if it was too bad, we'd have to.
well, I went on 3 patrols with.
I got that. Rico, you know what to do.
Doc HM1 looked at it and he told me, he goes, "Oh, it's just a sprain, you'll be fine." So he gave me like 24 hours of light duty, and then I had to go on patrol because I was in PSD, and I'm fucking like crying in the back of the every footstep. I'm like fucking and then they're like fucking Willis saw me walking into the CP and he's like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Oh, my foot." And he looks down and I don't have a lace in my boot because it's so swollen. And he's like, "Did you get an X-ray?" I was like, "No, they told me it was sprain." He goes, "That's not a sprain." And he calls Barria and he's like, "We need a fucking X-ray." And then they go and they go, "Yeah, it's broken." So,
okay.
yeah.
So remember Mulgrew got hurt too. He fucked up his ankle and was in crutches for a while, but he stayed.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he broke anything.
Yeah, it sucks because like when Alpha, when they got hit, that guy got shot. He was in SOI with us, Caldwell, the 11, and he got like shot in the knee or something like that. And
Yeah.
like, he came back and like that sucked, but I didn't have to do anything when I got home because I was like, nope, got hurt in Iraq. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Because I was with all the guys that had popped on the piss test and fucking were broke, were getting out, and all the new guys. Like that's why I met all the 3-4 guys before you guys did.
Oh yeah,
Those ones that came out and relieved us.
No, 3-4 was the guys that like Jaquez and Purchase and
Oh.
all those guys.
Yeah, our best friends.
And, like I knew Wilson before.
That one ambush that one time.
So
those
like
guys.
Wilson never made me do anything, but I also got like buddy with him. So then when he was in our platoon on the Mew and he tried to be a dick, I was like, dude, I know too much about you for you to fucking treat me like that. Like
Wilson,
Yeah.
I didn't have any issues with Wilson. He was pretty cool.
he was just lazy, dude. He was just
Yeah, he's lazy.
And then they had Jaquez and McClung.
Yeah.
Because that's whenever that's when I went to y'all's platoon and I met them after the hazing.
yeah.
Or when I end up over there. But yeah, they were trying to be, remember how I told you, what was his name, Baum?
Yeah.
Baum was with me where he was like a dick during working hours and he was younger than me, so he wanted me to buy him beer and I was like, no.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah. So they were trying to be like that with me whenever I came to the platoon, like, be a dick during working hours and like, oh, y'all don't fucking rate shit, blah, blah, blah. All the shit they always talk. And then they were like, hey, man, you want to come hang out? And I hung out with them one time. I went to, I think I went to their apartment. I hung out with them once. The other guy was Corral that was with he was cool.
Oh
I
like that
He was
guy.
he was my VC when we were in Cat 1.
Yeah. So I hung out with him a lot. And I went to Vegas with him because he's from Vegas. So like me and him were car dudes. So we would always hang out, and like every other weekend I'd drive or he would drive to Vegas, and we just go together and hang out like all weekend. But those other two, yeah, hey, you want to hang out, man? Like every weekend, I was like, no.
Yeah, dude.
And I was like, y'all are
that.
being douchebags.
Yeah.
I went with Jaquez to a Giants Padres game because we were both Giants fans. My dad like sent me some tickets, and it was the night before we deployed on the Mew, so it was like fuck it, dude. And he bought me booze because I was only 20, and then he almost got us kicked out because like they'd give him like these little plushy like balls away, and he kept throwing them onto the field, and I was like, dude, you're like, and that's the year the Giants won the World Series, 2010. And I'm like, dude, you almost got me kicked out of that fucking game. And like, it was like a great game too, as far as, baseball can be boring, but it was like intense every game, every fucking inning.
Yeah.
But then
Oh my
I
god.
asked him to go to a strip club and I watched him drop so much money on fucking private dances. And I was like,
Well, they got all their re-enlistment bonus money they were spending. They were dropping on a whole bunch of shit.
Dear
Like
God.
like as far as like if us deploying and going to combat and stuff like that, that's different. But on a personal level, I wasn't really fond of them.
Yeah.
Because they were coming off as those like kind of arrogant people. Were just they would talk about the same thing the whole time that would happen to them over and over and over again. And it's like, well, this happened, so what y'all know doesn't even count, or we shouldn't even have to listen to what y'all think. So I was like,
Yeah.
you never learn or grow as a person if you don't listen to other people or take other opinions or advice.
So okay, so that we
kind of get back on track.
yeah, so we stop being mean to people, so their feelings don't get hurt.
Well, they can
hear
need
the
it.
story. So I'm gonna set the scene for you, David. Okay, and you can pick it up. Okay, so
Shoot.
you're in a convoy. You're in the gun in Iraq, and you see a piece of fabric fluttering in the wind.
Oh, you talking about that story?
Oh, I need to hear the story again.
Okay. So
I need to hear it.
this is my good brother, man. This was my driver through all workup and all Iraq. I love the guy.
I love
I'm
it.
Ren
all love him.
Ren is my brother, and I've seen him a couple times. Sadler's, I think it was Sadler's wedding, or Wolf's wedding. We went to Montana. He was there. Still hasn't changed. He's still the same guy.
Yeah, he lives 45 minutes from me.
Yeah. Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay. Ren. He says Ren. I love Renopedia.
Renopedia.
Fucker knows everything. Is this? Anyways, so the scenario was we had a 6x MRAP that had to go back to Bahia because it was running like shit. And it was only the 6x, I think one other MRAP. I can't remember if it was just 2 of us or 3 of us, how many vehicles there were, but it was a real small convoy in the middle of the night. So we had, it was Ren was driving it. I was up in the gun. We had Lieutenant Flambert, Staff Sergeant Williams, Sergeant Birch, and Solo was in the 6x. I can't remember who was in the other ones. So we're leaving. We're at night and shit. And the reason why it's kind of weird for me is because I was always rear Vic in Iraq. So this is the first time I was facing forward because they wanted us to be in front in case anything happened with the broke down piece of shit we had. And so I'm facing forward for like one of the first times ever. And so obviously I'm looking at everything, and it's the middle of the night, so it's kind of hard to see, but I'm just trying to be as vigilant as I can to try to see what's going on. And as we're driving, the roof goes down to where the front windshield is. It kind of got like maybe a 6-inch gap where the windshield is and the roof. Well, that's how thick the glass is. And so as we're driving, we're hitting bumps and everything. And with the wind, I see something flapping in the wind. And it wasn't the whole time, but every once in a while we hit a bump and shit, and I would see this thing. So I'm like, what the fuck is that? I was like, I know that's not something that should be there. So as we're driving, I keep looking at it, and I was like, what the hell is this thing on the top of the truck? And as we get to Bahia, we're driving around looking for the motor pool. I get a chance to actually, I'm sorry, I think it was a little bit before we got there. I got a chance to stand up in the gun and look, and I was like, holy shit, it's a fucking rifle. So I'm like, oh my God, there's a rifle on the top of the truck. And immediately I'm like, well, I know whose it's not. It's not going to be LT's or anything. I was like, I'm pretty sure I know whose it is. So it was a pretty nerve-wracking drive because as we're driving, this thing is bouncing around and shit. And I was like, I hope to God this thing doesn't fucking fall off. Because if it falls off, I'm going to have to stop the truck, obviously.
But you can't call it out and be like, stop.
Yeah, I can't stop and get out.
Ran on blast in front of everybody.
Correct. And I mean, that would with all the shit that always happened to him, it was kind of like, he'd get his fucking discipline or whatever the fuck would happen. Something like this with LT and Staff Sergeant and everybody in there, this would have been probably the end
career ending.
Career ending. I don't know.
It would have been there.
Yeah, so I'm like, dude, I love the guy. So I'm like, I'm not going to fucking Blue Falcon his ass like that. I was like, so the whole time just hoping the shit doesn't fall off. So anyways, we get to Bahia and we're driving around. We finally find somewhere to park, and they all dismount to go find out where the motor pool is or how to get to it. So as they take off, I jump out of the gun and I fucking grab the rifle and I pull it inside and jump back in. And I'm like, Ren, where the fuck is your rifle? And he's sitting there, he's like looking around for it in the truck and looking everywhere. And I'm like, Ren, you fucking left it on the fucking windshield on top of the truck, dude. He was like, no way. I was like, yeah. I was like, I had to fucking get it. I was like, the whole time it was on the windshield. And he got it, and then he proceeds to get out of the fucking MRAP, jump on top of it, grab my 50 cal, and he's like, just please blow my fucking head off right now. He's like, just shoot me in the fucking head. And I was like, I'm like, Ren, get back in the fucking truck.
No,
I was like, I'm not gonna tell anybody, but I was like, calm the fuck down, dude.
was this like also whenever before you leave the little taste of how the daily routine is? You'd have to now when we relieved. You told me a story about getting relieved, and this guy told you what you had to do. I thought that was a pretty funny story about the Renopedia. About whenever you had to, tell the kids the hard way to.
Oh, the other one. Okay. So another quick story, real quick. I'm sorry, Ren. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, do we love you, bro?
I'm still here.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna talk to these words hard, and my buddy Joey.
Yeah, he's probably changing into his Australian little G-string thing for the
Probably.
camera.
But yeah, so who was it that we relieved when we went to Iraq? Well, was it?
Dude, I don't 3-7. 3-7.
3-7. Okay.
3-6.
3-6.
Sorry.
The ones that lost the rifle in Lejeune that's still missing.
Yeah, see, that's what I didn't want to happen to us. So yeah, so whenever we were leaving them, when we got to there, they would tell us anytime we'd leave the fob that to make sure don't let the kids fuck around with you and start throwing shit, because they'll throw shit at you all the time and everything, and you never know if one day it might be a rock, one day it might be a fucking grenade or some shit. It's like, so all right, so that was like one of the main things we had to know is when we leave the ECP to watch out for the fucking kids. So anytime we would leave, I was rear Vic, and I would come out, and when we're pulling out, I wouldn't even have my 240 at the time. No, 240 I think it was. I wouldn't have it pointing at the kids. I'd pull my rifle out. I didn't have my pistol. Everybody knows in Iraq a pistol's more scary than a rifle to them. But anytime I get out, I pull my rifle out and point it at them. Make sure, hey, don't fucking throw no shit, nothing. So the whole time they kind of knew who I was when coming out, so they wouldn't fuck around. And so
were you wearing your like Skeletor mask?
Yeah, like every time I went out, I wear my mask. So actually,
so they basically see a demon pointing a fucking rifle at them.
Yeah. So I got it right here. Actually, I found it recently. So anytime they'd come out, let me see, they would see this.
And it had fucking Kevlar with
the Kevlar and like shades. So basically, this is all they saw.
Yeah.
Every time I came out.
And we were fucking armored too. This was the MTVs. We had some serious armor.
Yeah. So there was So one time we were heading out, and some stupid shit came down that I had to fucking finish some of the, what are they called, the schooling online shit.
MCIs.
MCIs. Yeah, I had to finish a fucking MCI to try to pick up. Like, but so like, yeah, you need to finish it. So like, okay, so I'm not in the gun. And so the one time Ren didn't have to drive, they said they put him up in the gun. And so, and I failed to mention to him about the shit that was going on. So we were leaving, and we're still rear Vic, and we had LT in the truck and everything, because LT rode in our truck. We're pulling out the ECP, and we start hearing cat, shit hitting the truck. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I look up, and Ren's like, what the fuck? Oh, shit, damn it. And these kids are just fucking pegging him with rocks. So he had no idea, he was supposed to establish dominance when he was the ECP. They got him pretty good.
A lesson, everybody. I don't know if I guess you sound like you took lessons people told you, but I had to learn the hard way just like Ren, so I get it.
No. Who was it that Caldwell it was you that was digging a hole at Green, right?
Green and JS started the hole in JSS. Me and Chalesky had it down past the head level, and then Drew and James came in and took credit for our holes. What happened? They did their fair share of work.
That thing got pretty deep though, dude.
Got pretty deep. It got pretty deep with Drew and James edition, but me and Chalesky got it down past the head, and then I got the JSS, and every time.
Well, I'm talking about the JSS was pretty damn deep.
Yeah, both of them. Green was way easier digging, so we got that one done way quicker. And every time Chalesky got in trouble, I would get in trouble.
What was it, like 15, 20 feet or something like that? Or
yeah, I got in a lot of trouble. Like Chalesky especially, like we were like
You got in 20 feet worth of trouble. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's like I remember one time
Totally
Chalesky
worth
was
it.
like calling in the wrong amount of Vicks. I'm like, no, you dumb. I don't know if I said you dumb. I was like, Chalesky, there's still one Vic out in the road. I was like, no, they're all in. And they hear us like fucking fighting on the post. We like literally start getting into it it's like Ninja Turtles. You know, we start fucking beating the shit at each other. And then of course get lit up. He's like, why didn't you get the fucking calm away from him? I was like, you heard me fucking fighting. And Chalesky was pretty roided out, so we'd always like get into the only boot that ever tapped me out was Chalesky in Iraq, and we fought for like a jillion years, and then you know he was roided out and had the close quarters. In open field, it might have been a different story, but in the room, he overpowered me and pinned me, that bastard. But yeah, we were always fighting, and then because we were with Blanche truck, because Blanche was heavily into martial arts, so he'd train us. And I see that shit wasn't hazing. I thought that shit was badass.
I remember like the first time I ever saw the hole, I was like, what the fuck happened here? And somebody's like, Caldwell. And as soon as they saw Caldwell, I was like, I got it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I wasn't a bitch though. I wasn't a bitch like Kreia.
They figured out how to at least get you to like focus on one task.
Yeah. I loved fucking digging, bro. It's just like staff sergeant they had a speech about it. We finally fucking found another Marine's fucking another Marine center. He's out there digging. He's just out there happy as shit, just fucking digging. That's what they put me to my hole, bro. Put me to my hole, dog. It's all good. I had an escape route. Fucking, I had some cover. You know, I had some cover. I was safe. And then, how many times did we fucking Mortal Kombat fight next to the hole and uppercut each other in the hole? I don't know. It was badass.
Did y'all ever go through the tunnels in Ferristown? Yes.
When I came to y'all's fucked up platoon, because I remember like somebody tried to, like, it was Queller, and I was like, hey, and he's like, what? I'm your drink. He expected me to call him Lance Corporal. I'm like,
he's a PFC.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like everybody's expecting me to call him rank there. We're like, nah, bro.
No, he was a PFC, but he wanted you to call him Lance Corporal. That was his thing.
Yeah.
Never did. Never did.
So how do y'all do it? I'm a kill you, okay?
Yeah, he was still scary, but I was like, fuck it, dude. You can beat my ass all you want, bro. It's not happening. I'm not going back to boot status, dude.
How do you do it, Nard?
It's not funny, all right?
Yeah. I fucking kill you, okay? And you like hear his voice, and you're like, oh, this dude's cool. He's gonna be nice. We're gonna, no, he's scary.
So, so the first time that we did it, it was funny. It was during we were there for Halloween, and so what I did is I got my fucking green Scribia shirt, fucking cut a hole in the center of it, and then we had some of them IR cam lights, that the circle ones that you can like stick on shit, and I put one on my chest, and then I put two in my hand, and I pretended to be Iron Man.
Cool.
And, oh, sorry, my brother messaged me. So we were doing that shit, and then we knew about the tunnels, but we never went in it. And we decided that night, it's like, hey, let's go in the tunnels and see how far we can go and shit and whatnot. It's like, all right, cool, whatever. So I think it was me, Sparks. I can't remember the other dude's name. There was another corporal that was there.
Goodrich?
Not Goodrich. There's another white dude that was kind of a little jacked. But I can't remember his name.
You guys had several jacked people. Your platoon was the fucking jacked platoon, though.
Yeah, they took a lot of them were all on that fucking shit. Whenever I was there, I never took anything. And it was funny because they were all down there like always working out and benching and all that shit. And they were sitting there like trying to max out. It was funny because one night I went down there and they were like maxing out and shit. So I was like, hey, can I hit that one time? And they're like, yeah, sure, you can try. So, they were maxing out, probably doing like, 3 or 4 reps. I went down there and I knocked out 10. I was like, all right, cool. See y'all later, guys. I was like, appreciate it.
How many plates, bro? How many plates was on there?
It was only like 245.
One of the workers.
Plates.
So you remember the workers? You'd have to escort them back there, right, where the gym was.
Mm-hmm.
They would do their shit, and then you'd escort them back.
Yeah, they're resetting contacts. I didn't know what they were doing, but I kind of do some of that shit now.
But I remember, I think it was Pika. I want to say it was Pika was benching, and he's like grunting, and the Iraqi's like, "Why you grunt?" And he's like, "It's heavy." And the Iraqi's like, "Move." And he gets out, and he's just like, "Zap, zap, zap." And he's like, "Ah." back to work. And he gets out of like, I was like, fuck, dude, you just got shown up.
That's funny.
Damn.
I think
So,
it was
yeah.
Quad. I think his name was Quad. He was also really good at ping pong.
Oh yeah. I remember that guy. That dude was badass at ping pong.
Damn, dude.
But yeah,
I never
so
seen
anyway,
it.
so we went down in the fucking tunnels and shit, and we took our fucking MVGs and shit, and I think it was Sparks or I can't remember the other guy's name. They took their pistols, they took their 9mm. So at least we had something. I took my K bar.
Of course, yeah.
Because you are the weapon.
Yeah, but here's a funny story. So like we're going through the tunnels and shit, and I got my MVGs. I was like, dude, it's pretty lit the fuck up down here. Like, how are we seeing this good down here? And then I realized I still had my fucking Iron Man shit on my chest. That's like a perfect target for anybody. And I was up front. I was lead, and I'm like, why am I up front with a K bar when y'all the fucking assholes that got pistols?
And you have a light on, dude.
And I had a fucking IR chem light on my chest.
Oh my
Center
god.
mass.
So,
Yeah.
when we were there, Staff Sergeant Canaway was super into like booby trapping, like the tunnels and back around, like where that back entrance was.
So he had
Yeah.
seen some shit apparently.
He was a
This
sniper,
guy.
so he wanted to. If somebody was coming in, he wanted to know.
Thought he was getting poisoned by the gasoline cook, and then now this dude had been through some shit.
Yeah, but I think it was before this. Like, I don't think there was any.
There was nothing there.
There was nothing there. And, yeah,
up on somebody.
yeah. It got brought up that they can come up at us anytime.
So that like Wainwright and Sergeant Rod and like a couple other guys, they got tasked to go down into the tunnels and basically see like map where everything like where they came up. And
Mhm.
like and we wanted to know if we could see them wherever they came up, right? And so they like popped up, and like one was in like the middle of where those apartment buildings were across the street.
Yeah.
Like popped up in the courtyard, and then like one popped up all the way on the other side of fucking like at the police station.
Isn't that courtyard like where they had like the one tower where all the power went? Like it had like 1 million cables on it.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that shit now, actually.
They had forgotten that Canaway had fucking booby trapped everything.
Did somebody hit one?
And Wainwright fucking hit the tripwire for a flashbang.
Yeah.
And he fucking, I think he hit two. I think he hit a bang and a flash. And he fucking, it was like, boom! And then just, fuck! And he
God.
just screaming, dude. And we're like, holy shit. We were up in the sleeping area, and we fucking heard it. Because, it was basically connected to the same stairwell as fucking the rest of the building.
Yeah.
And so everyone starts getting their shit on and running down, and then they come up, and Wainwright's like, I'm blind. And
Well, it wasn't. You also he didn't ND with the flash grenade. It was like a.
it had been booby trapped. It had
Holy
been tripwired.
shit!
Yeah. Well, they did one of our QRFs hit that flashbang doing a night patrol around Blackhawk.
Mm.
Somebody hit. Yeah, I forgot who it was, but somebody hit a flashbang, like in the middle of the night.
One of the pop-ups, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, some shit like that.
Yeah, because that was like the area where the post couldn't see. It was like in between.
Yeah.
It was like next to iron and like the fucking pop-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone
We
hit
were
one
pretty
of-
psycho too. They didn't fuck. I mean, like they were trying some shit, but we were pretty fucking psycho on them. Every time something happened, we fucking.
So
It
I
wasn't fun for 'em.
I almost lit up on what's the post on Blackhawk that watches over the back and the burn pit.
Well, I think it was 4 on top of the chow hall, right?
Yeah. So I almost lit up because they had the Iraqi police behind us right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was in the middle of the night one time, and it was we and Schroyer, and we're sitting up there, and then all of a sudden we started hearing fucking gunshots back there, and I was seeing the flash, and I was like, holy shit! I was like, oh yes, it's time.
Yes,
So I was like,
prayers are answered.
yeah, I was like, I got on that 240, dude. Oh, was it two? No, it wasn't 240. Was it 240 or 249? Was it Saul?
Yeah.
Saul was on 4. And I got on there, dude, and I was looking at it, and I was like, dude, should I fucking line him up? And I was telling him, I think it was Schroyer was with me. It was either Schroyer or Red. And I was like, dude, call it in. and they're sitting there, and I'm just the whole time I'm just aimed at dude. I'm just waiting to drop this fucking trigger, and they finally called in. They're like, no, 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 don't do anything. So basically, what it was a fucking Iraqi police after they got trained to do their ROEs and warning shots.
What a
They said they saw the car back there driving. So this dumbass was shooting a shotgun like over 150, 200 yards away, trying to scare these people in a car in the middle of the night. And I was like, oh, dude, I almost fucking ended you.
damn it, dude.
Well, I remember our third platoon's first section was all gung ho, and like because Bosley was there, and Van Daren was in my section, but he hung out with Bosley most of the time, and they like wanted to probe our lines, right, and see like our weaknesses.
Yeah.
Like they didn't want to tell the posts, or somebody didn't want to tell the post, and it like I think it was Mash Sergeant who was like, no, you're fucking if you're gonna do it, he's like, I think it's stupid, but you can do it, but you have to tell the post or you're gonna get fucking like 6 dudes killed.
Yeah.
And I think they ended up trying to breach by JSS, and JSS almost fucking because like they forgot that JSS to like tell JSS, and JSS almost fucking like they started fucking EOFs on him and shit, and was like
Damn.
finally, and I think Musto got cut up on like razor wire. It was a total shit show. But that was the last time they did it. Like they tried it one time
I
on
heard about that too.
but like our platoon commander came up in full gear on the post, and I was like, well, you never done this, so something's going on. And then I was like on thermals, and I was like, yeah, they're right there. Like they were doing the where you take the board and you prop up the wire so you can crawl underneath it.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like, dude, it's not that dark out here, and they're not that far away. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't say anything because they're obviously fucking Marines.
Yeah.
Right. But dude, that was a lot of that like
I think boredom, dude.
just
We're all bored.
bored, dude, just waiting. Like every time we got like the gunshots, like it was just like not in our AO. Alpha Company was in a firefight. The guy who got shot in the knee was close to our AO, and we were fucking QRF. Just waiting. We had the all-seeing eye, the G-Boss or whatever. Is that G-Boss? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
G-Boss.
all-seeing. I always call it the all-seeing eye of Sauron because that's that giant infrared.
So
Just
we did have the suicide bomber in the hospital.
Yeah, and Ferris.
Yeah,
That was Ferris. And then there was Burgess too. They had one in Burgess too.
Yeah, and then ECP won,
Mm-hmm.
and Alpha was always getting rockets and shit.
Yeah, Alpha was always getting rockets. But
Reyes, was it your platoon that got sniper fire in Ferris?
That was actually my. Well, I was in an MRAP when it happened.
Yeah, it was like right in the fucking window, right?
So what happened? We were leaving Ferris, and for some reason this one, I think because we didn't have MRAPs like the whole time. I think it was like towards the end. We kind of got MRAPs. I can't remember.
we got MRAP. I did MRAP driving school immediately, so we had MRAPs.
MRAPs, but there were some Humvees sprinkled in.
Yeah, majority of the time I was in a Humvee, but at this certain time we had MRAPs. So we were leaving Ferristown, and I was rear Vic, and we were, remember Ferristown has like one entry, one exit, and that's the only way in and out of it. So we were heading out, and I'm facing the rear, and on the MRAPs, it was a 6x. So the exhaust like comes all the way down the fucking side top of the MRAP, and like went by the turret shield and it came up. So we were sitting there. I heard like a crack, but I majority of the time all I heard was the fucking exhaust of the MRAP. So I heard a crack, and then I heard them talking downstairs. They come up with the comm and they're saying, and they called out contact right. So of course I'm facing the rear, so I bust left and trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And apparently they shot at the VC Solo's windshield or side window, because all of a sudden it just fucking like shattered. And the angle that we were at, I was kind of facing some of the apartment buildings, and then kind of like a market area. It's like right by the entry. So if you're going in, it'd be right to the left. They had like a market area, and then some of the buildings that people lived in. And I remember, like a little bit before that, we got some intel that there was a sniper in Ferristown, so we had to be on the lookout. And that
It was the
happened.
same motherfucker shooting at us because it's probably like a group of people doing the same shit.
No, this was a decent shot, I think.
Yeah, it was like square, like right where fucking Soto's
Oh
head was.
shit, yeah, this guy sucked. I put a fucking light in my head. I was like, "Come on,
But
motherfucker!"
remember, I'm short enough as it is. So
Yeah.
so in a fucking Humvee turret, it's kind of hard to see
And
me.
you were Oscar. You guys were on the move too, right?
Yeah, and we're on the move. Well, we were slowing down because
You had,
we're letting the other trucks get out. We had to stop, let
you
them
had
go ahead a little
the
bit.
gunner's cage too, right?
Yeah, so we had the gunner's cage. So me being short, it's really hard to see me. So that's why I'm figuring they took the shot at the VC window. And other thing that sucked too, we were by ourselves. The other fucking Vics were already outside of Ferris. So we had to sit there, and they couldn't dismount because they didn't want to get out if it was, sniper fire. So we had to sit there, and I'm just fucking circling, dude. I'm just like, holy shit! Like at any minute, they can pop off another shot, and then we had to wait for everybody else to flip a bitch and then come back in, and then fucking cordon off the area, dismount, and everything.
That motherfucker was
But at
probably
that
shot and gone.
But at
Probably.
that time, yeah, we didn't find anybody.
And is that before the tunnels were dug up, or you knew about the tunnel? You didn't know about the tunnels.
No, because like even 3-6 knew about the tunnels because they had put sea wire and shit down like to where you
Yeah,
would get from the tunnel into the OP. You would have to go through. It was like fucking 20 feet of sea wire and shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah.
But I remember hearing because I believe I was at Blackhawk, like hearing like, hey, fucking second platoon just like took fire, and then they were like they were talking about like shutting Ferris down and like doing a sweep through it, but then they were like, if it's one dude, like what are the chances?
Yeah.
You know.
I think if it was more than like, say, besides that one shot, if we started taking on actual like fire and shit like that, then yeah, I think it would have happened. And since it was just that one and done.
I remember one of the first big missions we had in OP Green. I don't know if you guys heard about this team, but they were experimenting with like an all-female fucking team doing a snatch and grab. And they did whatever they snatched and grabbed, whatever intel that they had about what they were doing, they had dropped in the motherfucking field. And we spent, dear God knows how long, trying to find this intel. Of course, we never fucking found it. That shit was snatched up immediately. But did you guys hear anything about that?
No.
Oh my God. Yeah. So you guys were doing completely different shit compared to what we were doing. Like we were just doing it was like ours was a bunch of political nonsense. There was a sheikh. I don't want to mention his name, but the guy that we got, his son was doing all the bombings and all the snipings, and they I don't remember. I think I actually went to JSS when he blew up the convoy in the lead Vic, right when I got switched out, and because they always pay attention to people that when they change spots. But yeah, that wasn't the same group of people then that you guys were effing with at all.
My platoon, and I think maybe your platoon is. I was Overwatch for it at the school right next to Ferris. One of the teachers was on the fucking wanted list, and he had done shit in the Blackwater hangings in Fallujah.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a school teacher there, and like they found him on G-Boss one day. Like they were just randomly looking at people's faces and like running them against the fucking system, and it like popped up, and it was like this dude's fucking like high level shit, and like everyone, like we were prepared. It was like for him to basically blow himself up in the school, and they had just had the bombing in the hospital.
Yeah.
And so, but he came without a fight. He was like, I was at the post looking down over that field where they played, basically the soccer field there for the school.
Yeah.
And that was crazy because like people, they were moving tack. They fucking went in, they cordoned it. It was crazy, dude. Like you were just waiting to see fucking.
Yeah.
I know. That was just a big boner kill. It's like, you know. And then when we did get blown up, our platoon, we had 2 to 3. It was, I know we had at least one weapons cache and definitely one IED that we definitely caught and didn't get hit with. But it was just weak sauce, you know. From what I was expecting, though. From what I was expecting. Like, it's a lot of frustration, honestly. And we're talking about, like, you know, but what's happening to our emotions is we're getting all fucking ready to roll. And then it's just, it's just the neighbors just shooting in the air. We're getting all ready to roll. It's like, nope, your rules of engagement are not to engage.
So like whenever we took that shot, dude, whenever I turned, the first thing I turned was towards that little marketplace because there was a shitload of people out there. And then, like, you know, I was scanning the buildings and stuff, and I couldn't see anything. But my main concern was that marketplace because there was just so many people over by ourselves. And at that time, I had the 50, and I was like, holy shit! Like, I was in my mindset, I was like, I'm about to just mow all these people down.
Yeah, all the time.
It's like because it's just me, and you know, my guys are in the truck, and then the other Vics are outside of Fairs because God knows how long it took them to get there. I was like, I'm about to mow all these people down, and then for them to go to that, and they're like, no, just hold on, don't shoot and everything. I was like, dude, you didn't like how bad I was shaking, and like my finger was on the trigger of the 50. I was like, it was about to drop.
Dude, I mean, there's fucking people everywhere, especially in Ferris. That shit was a nightmare.
Well,
Yeah.
City's a nightmare.
If you like Ferris, right? We were literally across the street from multiple apartment buildings that were higher than our posts.
Yeah, and so many windows.
You were just fucked at Ferris.
All it would have taken would be, you know, a couple guys 2 floors up with RPGs, and they just start raining them down. And then the berthing was fucking like 1 floor down.
And
on that side too. It was
on that side. It was that side facing the buildings.
And guess what would have happened to us in our generation? Hearts and minds. Sorry, we just gotta go clean up the bodies. Hearts and minds. Well, no, reestablish the post.
We had I think there was one time when it was like we were all sleeping and they were like, get your shit on, get to the roof now. And like it was like, okay, it's go time. And like it was like legit, you know, fucking shorts and shirt with flak on and combat boots.
Yeah.
And we get up there and they're like, fucking stay down. Like there was like somebody had heard what they thought was a Dragunov. And we were like, fuck, dude, like, so like your first course of action is get us all on the roof?
Yeah.
Everybody get in the line.
One shot, one kill.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was crazy. And because even the windows and where we slept, all they did was put wood over the window. Like that's not, you could still shoot through it.
Yeah.
Especially a 7.62. Like it's gonna fucking pop. You're just gonna have splinters in your bullet hole.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And
I mean, if you think about it, like you said, it feels like they shot one RPG in there. Like that's like the whole fucking platoon gone.
Exactly, and they wouldn't have been a revenge mission because it was hearts and minds. They would have just came in and like stacked you guys up in the old meat wagon and reestablished. All right, fucking pulled some pogues from somewhere.
I was on ECP, so remember you had ECP who would like sign the people in and out, and open the gate and shit. And then you had the dude that would escort people. So I was on ECP. Orozco, I don't know if you guys remember him. He was
there was like one person by like the door, right? That's the escorter.
So we had a bongo truck pull up with a bunch of oil drums in the bed.
Of course.
And I was like, fuck, dude. And they pulled to where like they were blocking the road. And like they were like, open the gate. And I was like, fuck you, dude. And like so I radioed up and shit, and they're like, okay, go out and search it. And this is the first time I've legitimately searched a vehicle not in training.
Yeah.
And it has like every trigger that you're supposed to look for. It had fucking loose wires. It had fucking oil drums in the back of it. Like the guy was like trying to hurry us up and shit.
This is like the perfect like identifier vehicle.
I was like,
but he was just in a hurry, and it was nothing.
Like, I'm about to be vaporized, and and he wanted to pull into the factory in there because there was like pits down there that he was supposed to like clean out or something. And
God dang.
Like literally all it would have taken is one V-bid in that courtyard and a whole section is literally probably dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was a fucked. It was a.
Yeah, Ferris Town was always like really sketchy to me.
it's just yeah. Marines are not an occupational force, and the Army really shouldn't have to do that. That's a terrible. It was a terrible position.
Not to mention on ECP, you're just worried that somebody has moved the one strand of sea wire from the gate and is behind you and going to slit your fucking throat.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, thank God for OP Green, dude. That was a little bit better of a position. Our patrols were very practical, and we didn't have command breathing down our ass. We just couldn't kill people. Okay, we just couldn't kill people, but we didn't exactly have command breathing down our ass. So whenever they did something stupid, like the one kid threw one rock at our car one time, and then there was some other celebratory fires came our way, and we paid those people a fucking visit.
Like I think too, like I think about like they say that it was hearts and minds and whatnot, so they had all these crazy ROEs for us. But like sometimes I was thinking too, I was like, is it kind of like to me it kind of felt like some of our higher ups, not like platoon level, but maybe a little bit higher. I think they were kind of like terrified of the actual situation of it happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
We were talking yesterday about the cache that we blew up, and Charlie Company had taken small arms fire from this house, and we were all like they told us about it, and like we all had our lasers and shit on it, and I think like they wanted us to. There was talk of us going and just sweeping through it and just to make sure and see what was going on, and battalion shot it down. They're like, nope, blow the cache and get out, and it was like. This is obviously if they took the small arms fire from this house, it's probably their fucking weapons cache. Like
yeah, and like I got the same feeling of like when you were discussing in another one of the episodes about whenever we were on the Mew, and we could have been sent in, and like all of our boots and shit were like terrified of the idea of actually having to do our job. And I don't think it was just the boots. I think it was probably some of the chain of command as well, because like
the way they acted, it's like they purposely failed these inspections because they didn't give a shit. Like the paint, the rust, all that shit. Like, why are we doing it? It was like powerless for us to.
Well, yeah, and then basically like when they were like, oh well, we're not gonna get our trucks in there. It was like, well, who gives a shit, dude? We can take a 50 and a 240. And we
fucking fast rope. I saw Black Hawk Down, motherfucker.
It's like it's like the whole point of our weapon systems is we can also dismount them.
Yeah,
it's like
we had
javelins.
We had just fired like 50,000 fucking rounds through them on the ground.
Yeah,
like
we were very effective with them. Yeah, we just had some serious fucking practice too.
And I think it was like obviously because we couldn't train our boots the way we were trained.
Yeah,
and then I think the higher up chain of command was just not. To me personally, ever since fucking top left, fucking Master Sergeant Henderson retired, from then on it was just like our one. They didn't want to fucking be like a combat unit. It was more just garrison. Obviously, stuff was dying down at that time too, but it's like they just didn't want to. They didn't want that to be like our priority.
Yeah.
To me, that's how I felt.
Yeah.
Well, to me, it felt like because like the surge was starting in Afghanistan, they were sending it was like 100,000 more. Like they wanted them for like basically to clean everything up and then we'll get out. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now everyone's going on Mews. It's like, well, you guys got to make up your fucking mind. Like who's like 29 Palms guys? Like they only did combat deployments. They never fucking went on Mews.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hear.
I think that's where we left. Didn't our unit did like back-to-back Mews or something like that?
Yeah.
So like it was ours, and then they did Okinawa. And I don't know what they did after that. I think it was another one.
Damn. Yeah. I know 1-4 actually went to Syria though on a Mew with Trump. Trump sent them in.
Yeah. But I'm
bastards.
I'm pretty sure that our combat deployment is 1-4's last combat deployment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird, dude. It was being the last of the kill. I call it the last of the kill generation because.
So like on that note, y'all probably don't know this, but there was a time whenever it was after Iraq, we got back and we were starting our next workup that I almost left 1-4.
Oh, really?
You're gonna cross 3-1?
I don't remember. They didn't tell me who it was for, but they sat down some. It was all machine gunners, and they sat us down and they had a talk with us, and they said they needed a machine gunner for a fast company. They said you're going to leave 1-4 and you're going to be attached to a fast company. And they had us sit down. I want to say it was probably like maybe around like 15 or 20 of us. And they asked for volunteers. And at that point, I told them, obviously I told them no, because I wanted to deploy with my brothers. Like I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Now if it was like a reenlistment time, or like sometimes in hindsight, I was kind of like, well, fuck, what if I would have took that? Because we see like all of our fucking peers that stayed in and reenlisted. As soon as they left 1-4, they all picked up. They all went to Afghanistan. Like everybody picked up and did a lot more shit once they left 1-4. So like at one point I almost left, and a lot of people didn't know about that. And like I think about it all the time, but then I sometimes too I'm like, well, if I would have left, I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't have there's no telling if I would have had my family and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a lot of, opportunities. Like they offered a few times for guys to like go to RCTs and like do like basically would leave, do 29 Palms, and then you'd be right in Afghanistan with RCT. I think it was RCT 1.
Yeah. No, none of us wanted to do that. Because like I'm with Reyes too, because like I didn't want to go to which they never asked us, but I would have said no anyway because I wanted to deploy with the homies. Like I wanted to get our shot as a homies, like Double Dragon stuff.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it after the Mew when they offered another RCT, but then I would have had to extend, but then I was non-rec, so.
Well, like, yeah, that's the other thing too. Like the whole situation that happened with like me and you, the stuff that happened with me with the whole not being able to, get non-rec, and I guess I don't know if it was a personal vendetta against me since they couldn't do anything to me with the whole DUI thing with Doc. Whenever that happened, and then I was, not able to pick up at all, and it carried over to the next first sergeant. Once since I was busting on my ass the whole time, and then whenever I got non-ranked over 1 pound, and they told me to come in the next day to get reweighed, and I was underweight. I made weight, and they said, just sign this paperwork. You're non-ranked. You're not going to pick up.
Same thing happened with me. I was selected that month, and they basically had to shuffle for a way to get a non-rank.
Yeah,
fucking Marine Corps work, dude. Because
when that happened to me,
pick up.
That's when the pack just dropped, dude. And I was like, dude, I was putting so much effort into it, and even the whole time getting fucking non-ranked in Iraq and all that shit. And I was like, you know what? Just at some point it's gonna break, and I will pick up. And if I did, I probably would have stayed in. But since all that shit happened, and then they tried to when they talked to me and sat me down about re-enlisting, they said we'll give you 3,000 if you stay with 1-4. And I was like, no. I was like, that was the only option I had, because they said it was either re-enlist and stay with 1-4, or on the paperwork, since they non-rec me, they said that I wasn't eligible to re-enlist.
Yes, that's what I got too.
Dude, I like
if I stay with 1-4, they would have let me do it, and I was like, no.
But see, that's the thing, because what was nice about Corporal's course is like, I fucking graduated a squad leader again. I graduated like decent in boot camp. I think I was like I was like the guide for fucking tow gunners and SOI, which whatever, that wasn't like that serious. But then I got squad leader in Corporal's course too. So it's like, it seemed like I did excellent everywhere. Everything I did outside of 1-4, I always did excellent. I did excellent with the Navy, working for the Chow Hall. They loved me. Fuck, Motor T loved me because I was Motor T basically my first fucking deployment. But when I was with 1-4, like the platoon, it seems like, yeah, we were with our group of people. We were badass, but to those guys, we weren't crap. It felt like our specific group of.
Well, another thing that I want to try to do is try to get because Joel knows about the podcast. I tell him about it all the time. So, I want to try to get him hooked up so he could be on here too. And, like I told you, I think y'all know, he lives like 10, 15 minutes away from me.
Yeah.
We hang out all the time. And every time I talk to him about it, he said 1-4 is a career ender. Because he was in for 8 years, and once he got to 1-4, like, it was just like, no.
If you went from basically being kind of a backseater, like, doing your job but not really making any waves, and then you showed the slightest hint of motivation, they would kill it as fast as they could.
Yeah.
They'd fuck. That's where my fuck them, fuck them came from. Because as soon as you felt like or were decent at anything, or
Well,
so did they just used you. They
It's
just
like, I started on the Mew. I was like, fuck it, dude. If we're going to be stuck on a ship, I might as well, I started asking for more responsibility. I started working out more. Like, I worked out with Chittick and shit. And I was like,
oh
I
yeah, I
need
remember
weight so I can get promoted. And then, because my goal, I wanted to be a drill instructor. And I was like, I'll be a fucking corporal. I'll do maybe one more pump. I was going to re-enlist. I was like, I'll do as much as I hated, said I hated the Marine Corps and re-enlisting.
Yeah, I know. I really wanted to re-enlist.
But like,
I really did.
I was like,
shit, homies. I tried to get back in already.
I had it mapped out. I was like, I'm going to be a corporal. I'm going to do one more pump with 1-4. I'll, try to be a section leader or something like that. And then, I'll be ready for sergeant. And then I go to the drill field. And, when you graduate, you pick up sergeant. And, and then I was like, same thing was Reyes. I weighed under. And then they were like, oh, we'll tape you anyway. And they taped me and I failed tape. And I was like, but you're only supposed to tape somebody if they're over the weight. And they're like, no, it's like, command's discretion or whatever.
No
It's
deal.
just because it was just because of who we were or something
So,
like
like-
that. Blah blah blah.
Like in Kuwait, I had Staff Sergeant Angelo. I was like, hey, Staff Sergeant, like I was looking at MOL and some of my stuff's not correct. And he helped me fix it. Like we went to the admin and like he signed my waiver for the rifle range. And so that helped my score a lot. And I was selected. And then First Sergeant calls me in to his hooch and he's like, sign this. And I read it and I was like, but what's going on? And he's like, we don't think you're ready to be an NCO. And I did the rebuttal and he fucking like turns and he looks at Major Schiller, and he's like, Major Schiller signs it and he goes, nope. And I was like, fuck, dude, like what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
And so I went back and I was like, you guys I told the boots, I was like, you guys can call me Andrew. You can call me, like, you don't have to fucking talk to me. I don't give a shit. I'm just here. I have until fucking July of next year and I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's like the same fucking thing. Once they did that shit, I was done. But like the thing is, remember I told you what happened with the whole DUI thing and all that shit. So towards the end of Iraq, they pulled me, Vasquez, some other people, Sergeant Towns, fucking Sherm, Chavez was there. We went back to the shadow range for a second time, and we were supposed to train the Lionesses. And they never showed up. So we were there for like almost a month by ourselves. And, but we weren't doing anything. We had fucking an internet cafe and a really shitty fucking tent that had like no AC, the holes everywhere and shit. It was terrible. But, that's where we were. And Vasquez was actually getting non-ranked all the time too because, everybody knew Vasquez was overweight. He was always overweight. But actually, when we were out there, he got promoted to fucking corporal because he wasn't around anybody, so they couldn't non-rank him. And then
everybody asked Vasquez what the fuck to do. Who gives a shit if he's overweight? Everybody asked him about machine guns. He's literally considered a machine gun god. So what the fuck?
Yeah. So when we got back, First Sergeant Taylor saw him, and he was like, yeah. He's like, you slipped through the cracks. He's like, you're lucky I wasn't there. But he couldn't take it away because he already got promoted, I guess. But
yeah, they were all about the regs and all about the standards, I guess. We were all about the.
Oh, it was more of a
job, I guess.
More of a popularity contest.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, they like. I feel like they really didn't like us. I wasn't. I'd understand if I was like a shit bag and everything, and I was overweight, but I had like a 285 PFT. Like I wasn't a shit bag.
Yeah.
But I wasn't popular with, I guess, the higher ups. I didn't fit the image of like some our boots had and all that shit. So I didn't look all that impressive, I guess, on paperwork as far as like PFT, and I don't know what the fuck they look at because I didn't care.
Have you seen your paperwork? I looked at my paperwork and looking back on my paperwork, I'm like, yeah, it's fucking badass paperwork, dog. It looks good.
I mean, yeah, if I look at like I got all the shit that's on my DD 214 and all that shit, but
Well,
dude. How many?
You know, I was actually supposed to get I was put in to get a NAM, and they didn't approve it.
Well, let me ask you guys this, and this is something that's helped me. I mean, you're probably not struggling with it anymore, but it's how I had to get over is like the corporal score, and okay. So first off, I did great at wherever I went in the Marine Corps as far as testing and whatever. Wherever they sent me, I did well. Everybody who was a badass that I admired and got to 1-4 said 1-4 is garbage. It is not, and just like grabs you by the face and says, "It's not you. It's 1-4." And then you go to the civilian world, and how many places have you guys worked where motherfuckers tell you do a great job?
Well, I think corporal scores should be, you know, is a good thing, and it should be a requirement for all non-grunt fucking NCOs.
Hey, fuck off, bro! I did good at corporal scores, and you're just
No,
jealous
no,
you can't
no, no.
march as good as me.
I'm not saying that it's not valuable and that grunts don't do good. I think it's because you can tell a corporal that from before they went to corporal scores, and then as they go through it, you can watch them change into dickheads.
Yeah.
And then you can be like, dude, like some of the best NCOs that I knew were fucking shitbags, like in garrison, but in a hairy situation, they were the first ones you looked at.
Yeah, I remember when Chavez went to Corpus Course, because he was actually in the other platoon. Okay, so but I wasn't in y'all's platoon when he came back. But once all the hazing shit happened, and then I went to the platoon, because I showed up afterwards after the hazing shit. I wasn't. Chavez left my map platoon, and went to Cat 1 or 2, whatever it was.
2.
Yeah. Then after the hazing, I was in Cat 1. Then I went to Cat 2 with y'all. And I guess that was like after Corporal's course with Chavez.
We went. We were in Cat 1 together, David.
Dude, I can't remember, dude. Is that fucking long?
Dude, yeah, I was so drunk. I didn't know Corporal's course happened so early. So that's why I was moto. And then I got back. I was like,
remember, I'm older than you, dude, so my memory's not all that good.
Yeah. No,
But
I
yeah.
just remember Corporal's course being so fucking motivated after Corporal's course and getting back. And Hammond used to say, "You're the one I fucking feared." I was like, "Yeah, I was. What the fuck happened?" The hazing charges.
So whenever I got there and you know, I saw Chavez for the first time after his corporal course, and he was all like super bodo and all that shit, and I was like, dude, get the fuck out of here.
Shut up. You leave him alone, dude. We just got in with Corporal's course. Both of us graduated squad leaders.
He tried to do something like that, and I was like, dude, I went to SOI with you. Knock that shit off. Like,
Dude, we were trying to motivate you with some of the cool Corporal's course knowledge, dude.
Where were we training at whenever we left our platoon and went to the other platoon? We were kind of like over by Northside, not Northside. Fucking
We came back for Bosley's funeral after Corporal's course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were still in the squad base because we had we were doing the Saber course there. So
yeah.
You guys were in Margarita, I think, and we were still in Horno. And
So that's what it was, and then Margarita. So that's whenever I got moved to the platoon, or but I wasn't. Anyways, so that's when I met like Wolf and all them for the first time.
The Montana militia.
And you know, fucking Wolf was a fucking corporal when I met him.
Yeah.
I didn't know him prior to that. Yeah, so I didn't know him prior to this. I didn't really pay attention or see him in other platoons. So when I saw him, I was like, "Yes, corporal," and all this shit and everything. So then when I found out he was one of us, I'm like, "Really, dude?" I was like, "Why did you let it go on for so long?" He was like, "I don't know. I thought it was just cool." And I was like, "Fuck you, dude."
I used to tell him and McCready, I'd be like, dude, I've been in the fleet longer than you. I remember when you showed up, the scared little look in your face. So, like, I respect the shit out of them, and if they told me to do something, I'd do it. But I would talk shit while I did it, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I know that I was far from the fucking perfect Marine. But I also like to think that if you asked me to do something, I would do it.
Dog, as far as you were like a way better Marine than I was.
And then whenever we got back, they actually made me a VC. And I don't know if you remember Corporal Boynton.
Yeah.
So they put him in my truck, and he was a dismount, and I was the VC. And like he was cool as shit. Like, you know, me and him talked, like we had our boots and shit, and like me and him talked. He's like, "Hey, dude," he's like, "I know I'm a corporal and I outrank you, whatever." He's like, "But you're the VC and I came to your platoon." He's like, "So it's like I'm gonna respect you as the VC." He's like, just don't be all fucking douchebaggy. And I was like, no. I was like, I get it, dude. It's like, you're a corporal. You've been longer than me and shit. I was like, cool. So that's, we were cool for a little bit. And then after a while, they asked me, it's like, they're like, do you want to be VC? And I was like, to be honest with you, I was like, no, I don't. I was like, I respect the position and the billet, but I was like, I trained to be a machine gunner. It's like, I want to be in the gun. And I was like, personally, I don't trust our boots. I was like, because they haven't been there that long. And I was like, so if anything would have happened, I was like, I'd prefer me be up there than them. So then I stepped down. I was like, I gave up being VC, and then that's when they moved me to Wolf's truck, and Wolf was my VC.
I was a VC for like a day.
I think you were my VC, weren't you?
I don't remember. I remember Sherman left me behind. We were like,
It was
what
that
do you wanna
short.
do? I was like, I don't know. I was like,
He didn't even get his truck yet, and he
I had a truck, but
because you were the only driver, so they sent you to go get it.
yeah, no, I had the boots, and I just fucking couldn't I couldn't adapt to how they wanted to I couldn't train it was like they already knew, and they wouldn't just all that hazing shit happened. I was like, dude, I don't even care. Like, as soon as that happened, I dropped my pack way faster than y'all. I was like, dude, this shit's
Dude,
stupid.
it was pretty shit. It was pretty shitty because I remember I think Nard, you said you were doing what course were you doing while we were at div school?
We were doing the Saber course.
Okay, so you weren't with us when we were at div schools when all this shit happened.
No, well, not the stuff that like led up to basically the dam.
Yeah. So I can't remember his name, but he left he left the platoon and came to ours too, the sergeant. Whenever him and Vasquez switched.
It wasn't Sergeant. It wasn't Sergeant Joel, but it was.
It was Rev, wasn't it?
Yeah, Rev.
Yeah.
Rev. Yeah.
I couldn't remember his name. So he was our sergeant at first. He was our fucking, I think platoon sergeant he was.
Yeah, he was
Cool
cool.
Sergeant.
He was anti-boot to the max, dude. He was like, fuck him up more.
Yeah. So when all this shit happened, and then when they finally, I guess, decided to do all that shit is when we were in div schools. So you weren't there, and before they split us up, he actually sat us down with all of our boots, and he's like, dude, he's like, listen up. He's like, I just want y'all to know that. He's like, honestly, he's like, whatever the fuck happened, it is what it is. He's like, but y'all really fucked up. And he's talking to the boots. He's like, y'all fucked up so bad you don't even know it. He's like, I've been to other units, other platoons. He's like, I've never came to a unit before and seen Lance Corporals run the shit the way that it's run here. He's like, everywhere I've been, it's been, had to be corporals and sergeants taking care of shit, telling Lance Corporals what to do, blah, blah, blah. He's like, this is the first unit I came to where, he's like, obviously I'm the platoon sergeant and I say what happened, but I just fucking gave out tasks and the Lance Corporals made everything happen. He's like, I didn't have to worry about shit because they got it done. And obviously that's the training, because of the training we had from our seniors.
Absolutely.
So we knew what the fuck had to happen, what needed to be done and shit. And we were trying to pass that shit down to our fucking boots.
Yeah.
And fucking Sergeant Rev was telling him, he's like, y'all really fucked up. He's like, I've never seen leadership like this from Lance Corporals before.
Yeah.
He's
I'm
like,
sorry, but it wasn't hazing, bro. I stick by that.
Well, dude,
yeah.
I will say, Cat
I stick
1,
by that.
like when Rankle was section leader and Vasquez was a section leader, because like we were shit hot. We had our boots were fucking like, and they were all like machine gunners, and even like the 52s and the 11s.
Yeah, I think like 90% of our boot drop was like machine gunners.
Yeah, we'd be like, dude, you're fucking wrong, and they'd be like, I'm a machine gunner. I'd be like, dude, I don't give a fuck. I know way more about machine guns than you do.
They could never beat us. They could never beat us and put them together and taking them apart. Stupid. It's a
Well, it's like
goddamn gun.
it blew their minds when like we didn't have to look at the T&E for our
The
correction.
clicky hands.
Yeah.
The clicky hands is at the T&E, right?
Yeah,
I could still do that
yeah,
shit.
fucking
Clicky hands.
bam. When you can do, you knew exactly how much of a turn was 5 clicks.
Yeah.
I still got that shit.
And, because we used to do where you draw the shit on the door or whatever and you put the laser on and you fucking, you traverse it, right?
Yeah.
And it would take them fucking minutes and minutes. And we were like, bam, 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 bam.
Dude, that's a funny story because, like, whenever me and Bryant went to the shadow range for the first time, and we had to do when we were doing our fucking machine gun shooting and Mark 19 and shit, and they had us do some training to where we were doing the Mark 19, and they had some fucking targets out. I forgot how fucking far they were. And some of the training we had was like Bryant went up there, he fucking sighted in, wrote everything down, did a fucking range card and shit. And then I would have to run up there, look at his range card, and sight in just by using the range card. And I would take the first shots, even if they were off just a little bit. You know, a lot of our T&Es were all fucked up when we got them.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, dude, like I was a little bit off, and like I was reading kind of like his range card, but I'm like, fuck it, like I saw the numbers that he put. I was like, I don't need to fucking look at this shit. I know what fucking five clicks is. I know how much I have to move.
Yeah.
So Brian is fucking like looking in and sighting and fucking calling out my rounds. He's like, all right, 5 left or 5 right, up left, fucking. So I didn't even look at the range card anymore. I just fucking boom, 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 and we fucking got on target, dude.
Yeah, I think like some of the they might have been better at the technical stuff that you can communicate. That if everybody studied this book, then everybody might know the terminology. But Weapons Company was savagery. Just a bunch of savagery.
And like,
because our shit was fucking broke all the time.
And like you said, it was run by Lance Corporals.
It was run by motherfucking children.
It was.
And it could have been done better, sure, but you're talking these fucking kids that just graduated high school and lost their buddy that are fucked up and jaded from that are training us. So yeah, they're gonna be a little bit fucked up and a little bit hard on us, you know. So yeah, man, that's all that was.
But I always believe that saying that said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And as far as like a military standpoint, I didn't know anything.
No, the guns were fucking broke, even though we still learned how to shoot with them. They fixed that shit, motherfuckers. So
equipment wise, that's different. But as far as like the personal and the training standpoint, like, you know, we Marines are known to be the fucking people to get shit done, go in there, fuck shit up and whatever and whatnot. And that's how they were always known as. So it's like me going in as a person that doesn't know anything about military. Why would I try to change something if it's been working for so long?
No.
And then our boots came in as a fucking all that Mothers of America and all that shit.
Yeah, God damn it! What do you mean it should be this way? Who wrote the book? It should be how it is, motherfuckers. That's whoa. Think about that for a second. It should be how the fuck it is. Sometimes.
Yeah. But at that time, that's when it was all the fucking feelings and shit, and America came in and all that bullshit.
Hey, that got to me talking about like feelings for a while. I went down that road. It doesn't. There's no light at the end of that tunnel. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a time and a place, and training to go to war possibly is not the place.
Yeah.
But it's like it's also like I understand there's so much other shit you could do in the Marine Corps that can obviously help you out in future endeavors as far as careers and shit. But as far as somebody picking infantry or majority of the time when you get infantry, that's what you wanted, what I would assume. And for that kind of on that standpoint, is like if you're picking that kind of shit, feelings and all that kind of shit should kind of go out the window. Not all the way, because you know obviously you gotta have to be a human being when you get out, and I struggle with that shit when I got out.
Yeah.
But as far as like when you're in, like fucking Top was saying, like that's a fucking kill. That's what you're trained to do. So
kill.
Why would you try to like change that kind of shit?
Yeah, you do need it, but you need it. That's as far as growing. I don't know. There's a definitely backside of the story, but as far as like these people now that are saying shit should be different in America, and I'm all for just changing it. When I say reform, I'm talking change a couple rules of legislation to hold people more accountable. Our system in place that we got right now is a fucking badass system. Where else do you go get to be dirt broke and get food stamps and then still get to eat aged cheese or some fucking crazy? You could buy any food you want with these food stamps is what I'm saying. You could eat like a fucking king. You could read a book and look how kings read, and you could be a poor motherfucker and apply for food stamps so long as you hadn't done something fucked up. Generally speaking, it's not perfect because it's written by man, but you could go out and get food, okay? There's just several things to help poor people.
That's if you qualify. Like, for instance, my sister is a single mother who works, basically full time, and she has a master's degree, and she still has trouble, and she doesn't qualify for food stamps.
And these are the things that we need to fix to help that. I'm not
super into politics. Like I know the gist of it and whatnot, or what have you and shit. And like when I talk to a lot of people, or I really don't debate. I like to have conversations because even if like say if Nard was fucking super left and I'm super right, me and him could if he's a willing person to discuss and debate, I'm willing to listen. You could change my mind. I could possibly change your mind. If there's some people that are out there that are like that. There's some that just want to push their agenda and that's it. They don't want to listen. Those type of people, there's no point, in my opinion, to talk to because you're not going to change their mind. But what I tell a lot of people is when all the shit that's going on right now, people say left, extreme right, they fucking believe some shit or whatnot or what have you. As far as my beliefs in politics, it's all a ploy to fucking segregate and fucking make
Control.
people. Yeah, it's all to fucking separate people to fight amongst themselves. I think one of the scariest things in politics or in a government is if everybody comes together and actually, talks and discuss. You're not going to make everybody happy. It's never going to happen. But if everybody comes together and discuss and believes, within some kind of cohesiveness of some shit, and then comes together to change the government, that's when it's going to work. But when they're fucking put people to fight against each other, and people believe in certain things and don't want to listen or whatnot, regardless of whatever side you're on, you ain't never going to get shit changed because we're going to fight amongst ourselves and not focus on what the real issue is and try to come together and fix those things. Until that happens, shit ain't going to fucking change. There's just no way.
No, yeah, exactly.
I say we end on that high note. That's a great message by David Reyes.
Exactly is.
Might be the Johnny Walker talking. I don't know.
Well, I do want to point out that I want to just toot your horn a little bit, David. Is the type of person David is. We heard in his story. I don't know if you guys paid that attention to intricate details of people's story. It tells a lot about who they are. But if you can find out David telling the story about Ren and his dedication to duty, Ren's his best friend. Okay, he fucking dropped his rifle in the middle of a combat patrol. Doesn't dime him out. Still in the windshield. Okay. But if that rifle would have fallen out, he would have halted that entire convoy, and he would have had to bust his fucking buddy out just because of a greater good, something he really didn't want to do. So, and that would have been a hard fucking decision. And
dude, that probably would have fucking broke me, dude, doing that shit to him.
Yeah, but he would have fucking done it. So.
And then they would be like, Reyes, why the fuck didn't you see this for the past, 30 minutes?
45 minutes over. I'd be like, I'm used to looking in the rear. I'm not used to looking in the front. It's totally different.
I didn't know what the front of the truck looked like.
Yeah, I look at the past.
I thought it went there.
and that means that you just gotta fucking draw the line somewhere, people. And you do gotta draw the fucked up line somewhere. And when somebody, even though it's understandable that somebody crosses the fucked up line, you gotta be held accountable. Maybe the death penalty's wrong. Okay, we could talk about that. Maybe, abortion's wrong. Whatever the fuck, we could talk about that. But there's got to be a fucked up line. It's got to be drawn.
As far as I don't mean to cut you off. I don't know how much time we have to.
Oh no.
As far as trying to get some other people on, like I told you, like I'm in real good contact with Martinez Joel. He's here.
Yeah, dude, I would love. Joel was fucking. You might have been number one for best man at his wedding, but I got slot too, so I had to go stand because you couldn't make it. So yeah, me and dude, Joel is the reason. Yeah, motherfucker. I don't know who we can fight over that later, but yeah.
But I'm in contact with him. Like I said, I talk to Sadler every once in a while. Wolf, McCready. I think Ren would be a really good.
God, we got to have Ren on.
I messaged him. He rarely checks Facebook, so I'll probably message his wife. She controls his life anyway. So
I don't know if Joel would tell me what he told me in Leaks Timor. He told me fucking what happened in Phantom Fury, and that guy.
I'm sure he would, dude. Because like, I've had some. I know how much time we got left, dude.
Dude, we got plenty of time, dog.
We're at.
We're almost at like 2 hours or something.
Yeah, we're at about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like real quick. So like I've had some like episodes with like some shit that I fucking go through, and PTSD or whatnot and shit. And there's a lot of stuff that I didn't like talk to family about, and I held a lot of it back until I want to say it was like a year or two ago, or probably more. I had like a real fucked up dream in an episode, and my wife was here, and like I thought I was back in Ferristown, and like whenever we brought up the conversation about people coming up from underneath, because we had no idea all the fucking tunnel systems and shit like that. So I had like a real fucked up dream about that shit, and I ended up being like on the other side of the house, tripping out in the restroom and fucking convincing myself that I'm not fucking there. And the person I had to call was Martinez because he's here.
Yeah.
So like me and him fucking I think after when that shit happened, I think he was on the phone with me for like an hour and a half, and we're just talking about a whole bunch of shit. All
Yeah.
all the shit that goes on in our heads and whatnot. So what you were saying, Joey, is like you don't know if he'll talk about. I'm pretty sure he'll still, because me and him talk about shit all the time.
Yeah, man.
And that's one thing I really like about the shit y'all are doing with this channel, because it's pretty awesome to be able to fucking talk to y'all about like shit or whatnot that's going on in our lives.
Well, yeah, dude, it's crazy how we're all still in we're apart. We're all like in the same boat. And another with Martinez is it got so bad for me. I was like, dude, I'm not calling him anymore about that shit. I've been calling Travis now. Like,
like whenever you talk to him or like Coach Cheese calls him, he ends up calling Martinez ends up calling me too.
Right, because I was like, dude, I know that my pain's kind of hurting him, so I was like, I'm not gonna fucking kill myself, and I'm only gonna start calling him with good news, and it turned into I haven't fucking called him for like a couple years or something like that.
Nah, dude, it shouldn't be anything just about good. I mean, if you got some shit going on, because anytime me and him hang out, like 90% of the time, like the first thing, like we're hanging out, I was like, dude, have you heard from anybody else? You heard from Coach Cheese, heard from Joey, heard from anybody? So we're always talking about y'all when we're here.
Well, yeah, dude, I fucking think about you guys constantly, man. That's why this podcast
and like me and
thing
you,
had to
Nard,
happen.
like we're in the same platoon, but we didn't really talk too much. We didn't hang out too much and shit. So like, this is awesome. Once this shit started coming up, I'm like, dude, I was like, even when I was in platoon, I wasn't like really like social with everybody. I kind of just like did what I wanted, and that was it. Like I didn't really socialize too much. Not that I was like older than y'all or anything like that. It was just kind of like my thing. I wasn't a dick or anything. When I went out, I had fun with y'all, but other than that, I was just kind of like, eh.
Well, I mean,
bro, that story just summed up like your initial story and why you joined. Just summed up it. You were kind of like a gentle killer. Like everybody has, we're all still killers, but you were like you're kind of like a teddy bear, bro.
Well, I remember, like, you would, you picked me up from San Diego a few times, and like from the airport and shit, in your loud ass truck. And,
yeah, that cost like fucking $40 just to get off base.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck, you were like the last one that I wanted to call, because I'd be like, dude, I gotta give him fucking, I gotta fill that fucking thing up.
That's a question I got for y'all. If we got time, like, what was y'all's impression of me?
I think you knew your shit. If I had a question about machine guns, I knew I could come to you. And if, I could steer somebody. If, like, somebody came to me and said, give me somebody right now that can teach these people that don't know anything about machine guns, I would think of a few people, Shaw, Renfro, Rosie's pretty good, fucking you, Saunders, and
Saunders is here too.
And and Connolly, I hold you into that, like, that group of Marines. And
yeah, bro.
You were always, you very rarely, if there were orders given the night before or whenever, be here at 05 with this, and this. It was very, very rare that you weren't there at 5 o'clock with that, and that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, bro. My whole thing was like this motherfucker squared away and locked on. So as long as I'm this dude's friends and like you were a standard that I kept myself at. You still are a standard that I try to keep myself at. So always, bro, always. It's like I was always trying to, like, cause you're always quiet and you always had your shit together, and I've always been somebody who's never had his shit together. So I was always trying to be like, okay, if I could be friends with this guy, keep some common grounds with this guy, then I'm going to be an awesome human being.
Well,
I appreciate that, guys. I don't know how I did that, but
Yeah, bro.
just
Don't
let
fuck
you
it
know.
up now that you know, huh?
I know, right? I'm pretty sure, dude. I was like, dude, I was just fucking nervous and dumb and scared just as y'all were.
Dude, yeah. And ain't that like some shit? And then I don't know,
Oh, yeah,
man.
the wedding.
Look at all those little killers right there.
We got Jeff Boyardee. He's coming. He's coming on Tuesday. I'm excited to have him on.
You guys, you know the story behind Ren inviting him to his wedding?
No, I'm
So
gonna punch Ren for not inviting me. That killer.
so it was basically he lives, about roughly, well, Reyes, it was, about 8 hours maybe from base. And
Is
it was,
that Ren?
yeah, it was too far basically for him to be able to get the days off and be able to have the wedding and then be back on time.
Yeah.
And so he basically invited First Sergeant so that if First Sergeant came, then he would have to basically let all of us come. Basically, like, we would get the days off, the time off that we needed.
You're working the system.
And
Hey,
be,
man.
yeah. And
Hey,
he didn't
we
think-
all know Jeff Boyardee was a good human. He wasn't a degenerate like us, and he was probably in way the fuck over his head. All right.
Hey, look at Layden. It looks like the fucking memes that have the fake sunglasses put on their face.
Damn, Andrew, your fucking face is looking. Dear God.
Dude, so
It looks like 40 pounds thinner, dude.
this was literally the first, like, or I would say the second date with my wife.
Hmm.
So 10 years fucking later, we're married. Like, this was literally our second date.
Did you bring her to a wedding?
Yeah. Well, I also
When the
proposed-
oh, dude, no, I was deuced the fuck out.
Dude, scroll over to me. You know what's funny about what I'm wearing?
it's the same as Layden.
No. So like Layden is actually like a suit. So like all this, they kind of like knew I was like last minute when I like wanted to do this shit. So I bought those pants on the way up there. The jacket is not like a suit jacket. It's like a suede jacket that I already had. And I only had the jacket, and I think I wore my quarter frames. Like my suit, it was all jacked up. It was hilarious.
So me, Wolf,
Oh,
and
you are wearing core frame.
me and Wolf, and I think somebody else. No, it was me and Wolf. Did the Men's Warehouse 2-for-1 suits. So like we kind of mixed and matched. It was like, so I paid for like the shirts, and he paid for like the pants, and then we got the jackets for free.
It's
Yeah,
just hilarious.
Dude, yeah. So I'm glad to know that it's still going strong.
Yeah,
That-
I think the only one that was jacked up besides me was fucking what's the old fuck's name?
Which old one? The hip shits?
Yeah, Hibbets. If you look at his, I think he's like wearing a trench coat or some shit.
Yeah, I fucking love that guy, man. We went to SOI together too, dude. God, that old man. How did you?
like a peacoat.
Yeah, some shit like that. You see it?
How did he survive, dude? How the fuck did he survive all this time?
Like his coat is like 2 or 3 sizes way too big for him. And then look how tight my jacket is.
Dude,
Like look at my arms and shit.
yeah.
Layden does
Man.
look like that meme though. Oh my god.
You need to like screenshot that shit and fucking send it to him.
Hey, I'm glad I'm not the only one who got a little fat. Okay.
Oh, dude, I've gained like fucking 40 pounds.
Look at these
Oh my
baby
God.
faces, man. Look at McCready. He's a fucking cop, dude.
Yeah, but he still looks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadler's
I don't care what you guys say. I look at least fucking 21 now. I think I look like at least 25, probably.
Sadler looks like Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Like a roided out one.
fucking Wayward, man.
Oh man.
Fucking D-Wood, dude. Oh my God, that picture does not do him justice. He looks better than that.
I think Wolf has 2 kids now.
Yeah.
He passed me up.
Yeah.
How many? So okay? So Wolf passed you. So
I
it's
got one
between. Then I'm catching Mike. Then
And I think probably next year. 2020 is all fucked up, so I didn't want to have a kid this year.
Dude, I had my third in June, and it was like, dude, it was ridiculous, like being in the hospitals and shit during COVID.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine. Like, so when we had our our only daughter, like at the time we didn't plan her out, but we were ready, but we weren't like, hey, we're gonna try to do it right now this month or whatnot. And it was actually on our birthday because my wife she's 3 years older than me, but her birthday is 2 days before mine, so we share a weekend basically. So it happened on 3 years ago on our birthday, and so like this time I'm like, I don't want to plan like the dates or anything, but I'm like, 2020 is not the year, so let's shoot for next year. And then whenever we did get pregnant, we did the mistake, like when it happened, not a mistake, but when it happened, we had to pay our deductible twice because it went over, New Year's and shit. So insurance wise, so I'm like, I need to think about this before we do it again.
Yep.
Yeah, I like. Oh God. Okay, so yeah, number 4 is on its way. Number 4. Okay. Yeah, this one is like her. This one is her father made over. Obviously, ADHD, can't sleep, doesn't understand stuff yet. But
How many kids do you have, Darn?
3.
3. Yeah, I need to put some work into it.
yeah, I mean, you're definitely gonna want to stop working so much, bro. I'm not gonna lie, that was very hard for me because this year the corona happened, and I've just now finished. I'm just doing school full time
Yeah,
right
because
now,
like
raising the kids.
So like when I got out, I think on like a Friday, or I think it was a Friday. I was at work Monday. So like since I got out, like I was just work, and I already had college planned out, so I started school or trade school.
Yeah,
So I've been working, and then obviously when I met my wife, and then we had our daughter, like I just worked and worked and worked because I was like, I want to make sure I can provide anything and everything that I need to
yeah.
for my family.
Yep.
Just so you know, if we're ever in Texas and my wife convinces you to meet up with us, you need to watch your kid because she's gonna snatch her.
I know, like I see some of the messages your wife is like posted and shit. I was like, shit, I think she wants our daughter.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. You got an adorable family, bro.
She's appreciate
Like
it.
I look at you though, I'm like, shit, dude, this guy, because I think I did construction the whole fucking time, and I talked to some other people. They actually took some time off, and I was fucking. I mean, I'm sure I don't know what you and Joel talked about, but I was losing it for a while until I got a pretty good break, made a shit ton of money, and then got a sweet ass house, got money stacked up, and then now I'm just like finishing school and like taking the time off to actually raise the children and actually be with the children. And luckily I'm learning about teaching children so I can, my earlier parenting styles were all up. And
But
well, I mean,
that's everybody, dude. Like,
yeah,
you know how like you always think our parents like knew what was going on, and our grandparents or our teachers and shit. And then when you get older, you realize like when you're in the position, nobody knows what the fuck is going on. You're just day by day trying to figure it out and just doing your best, dude. That's all you can. That's all you can do.
and what it is you see some of their pain. They're very familiar. You see that, you see your childhood, and then you have to make the hard decision to be better. And that decision to be better is, you know what it is, and to be better, it is a very fucking hard thing, and it makes you eat your words and say, I'm sorry, Mom, Pa, real quick, but I still want to do better.
Yeah, the things I love and I hate at the same time is like going to my parents' house, or with my daughters with my parents. And my dad, I guess my dad has a sign that says, it's a perfect fucking thing. It says that grandpa is being a dad with no rules, because they do whatever the fuck they want, and they spoil them and do whatever, and they have like no consequences whatsoever.
My dad goes to Mexico every year for Thanksgiving, and they're for a couple years in a row, they brought back like fucking xylophones and maracas and shit, and they're like, have fun.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
Or they give you the pop mowers.
Yeah.
They get all these toys and shit and candy, and it's crazy. And
See,
they just laugh.
My parents, they had to do, not that I'm not knocking their parents' style, but they're doing round
No.
two,
Yeah.
and you know what? They're of course round two that their grandchildren that they're raising are like fucking straight A's and shit. So they're doing a great job in the round two for sure, and they didn't do so bad round one.
Yeah, you turned out all right.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm alive. Yeah, look, I am so hard for you to say that. You turned out all right.
I've known you for a long time, Caldwell.
Yeah, it's a miracle I'm still alive. We could all agree to we could drink to that.
Well, guys, I think we'll cut it here. And
Cool.
Fucking love you tunes, bro.
Thanks for coming on. We'll get you on here again.
Yeah. Something to maybe look forward to, an event for everybody. Which I got to. Vetch talked about hosting a fudging D&D. Never done it before.
Yeah, Nard was talking to me about it earlier.
Mm-hmm. I actually played this
Sorry,
game
Andrew.
everywhere.
I can't. I'm still stuck on the last name shit.
Hey, bro.
Okay.
Hey, dude, you ever? So Neverwinter. That's a D&D game. Pretty sure I can build my character on that I had from a long time ago.
I've played before, so I got the gist of it.
We got to do Wolves versus the Squad or something like that.
Yeah,
But somebody needs to get a simulation, calculate it out, and play it on here.
But
I still think we're going down, dude. The Wolves are gonna get us.
not under my circumstances. Not
My
okay.
opinion.
Yeah,
If we at least had a house. If it was in my house and we fought 200 wolves, we could take the wolves.
But dude, all the simulations you see, they don't do that. It's like a big open field, and you go. It's not like we have a building with one window and we're gonna just shoot all the wolves.
But
Like,
in the scenario that arose, it was a wolf, 200 wolves that attacked a town, and I was like, dude, that would be fucking badass.
but
I'm
it-
in my hometown and 200 wolves attack. That'd be awesome.
But you have to understand the town. It's not like a brick and mortar town. In these places, you can only have like a tent. You know what I mean? Like it's,
yeah, like the door is like sheepskin
yeah.
blowing
Oh,
in
that
the wind.
sucks.
And it's like, and the most permanent building there is like a trailer, and it's like, the wolves are basically going to put you under siege.
Last time I checked, mankind's ruling this planet, boys.
I thought this was still America.
I thought this was America.
You
Okay,
are
guys.
weird.
Hey, we'll talk to you guys later. David, we'll get you on here again soon. Thanks for coming on. Always great to talk to you. I'm clear.
All right, brothers. Love both of y'all. Y'all take it easy.
Love you.
Until next time.
All clear, bro.
All clear. All clear.
All right.